Anybody out there looking for insurance, you need it. It's something that all adults need to be responsible because you will be screwed if you don't.
It's important to get it, and we know the place that'll make it headache-free, and you will get that really awesome attention to detail customer service that this is why we work with these type of clients. Blanchard Insurance. If you go to BlanchardInsurance.com and talk to one of their agents, they'll get you hooked up. In fact, we have somebody you can talk to.
Yeah, if you contact Jamie Hoover, she is our BDM representative that handles
She's
BDMs.
Already talked to tons of BDMs and gotten them car insurance, home insurance.
Yeah, but everybody at Blanchard will know if you call them up and tell them you're a Tom and Dan listener. They are aware, and they'll give you that great customer service. Plus, I got my boat insurance through Blanchard. I know tons of BDMs got homeowner insurance. Great. They save money.
Commercial, life insurance, flood insurance.
Everything.
Insurance.
General, any insurance they can help you out with. And like I said, it's great to have someone you could just call, because when I took my boat to the marina, I was like, I wonder if my insurance covers anything that happens at the marina, because it says in their thing we're not responsible for damages. So I'm like, I don't want to be screwed. So I called Jamie, called up Blanchard, and they're like, I'll check for you. Yeah, it's covered. And that is
peace of mind, headache free.
Yeah, it's BlanchardInsurance.com. Welcome back to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha Butler, my wife, are hanging out here. Caesar's even here. Caesar, try to be quiet.
So everybody's been talking about the Netflix episode or the Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah, the new episodes.
It's kind of and I wouldn't even say it's like a reboot. It's just they're continuing the series in 2020.
Quite different than the original, but I still like it.
Yeah. I love the theme song. I'm so
I do too.
Every time I hear it, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I love the tip of the hat to Robert Stack at the end. That always kind of gets me because I always thought he was cool. I love the show and I was also terrified of it as a child.
So was I.
We've watched
3 of them.
There's only one I don't really want to watch because it's just too close to us, and it makes me sad. But eventually I'll watch them all. But it's the one with Angel and Angel's brother on it. And from the Monsters. If you guys don't know,
so
what
the original Unsolved Mysteries, of course, they did have a narrator, which was Robert Stack. But they also did a bunch of small stories per episode.
Right.
And now they have no narrator, and it's one episode is one story.
Yeah.
I do wish...
Which a lot of people don't like, but I liked it.
I like it. I do wish it were the small... I enjoyed the variety of getting a bunch of them because you'd always
usually
get
be kind of lighthearted and then a serious... Yeah.
I always liked getting UFO, ghost, murder, abduction, and then robbery. DB Cooper or something.
Right. Yeah.
I like that you got a little bit of everything. Because I'm not, admittedly, and you guys know this, I'm not a good murder show watcher, and I married one of the greatest, apparently. You and Samantha's choices are just vile and
I'm watching
disgusting
a documentary on the Grim Sleeper right now. It's so good.
I do wish they had the narrator to break it up a little bit, because in some of the episodes, you're like, this is just a lot of talking.
I thought the UFO episode was boring.
It was so boring.
That was my first episode, and I didn't pay attention to half of it.
So
God, it was just I'm like, you're saying the same thing.
So Samantha told us about this, and I'm like, is this a thing? So okay.
I didn't understand it. Now I understand.
And we could talk a little bit about the episodes and stuff. And a bunch of people reach out to us like, you should have Angel on to talk about in the episode he was on.
Oh, and he knows you guys are reaching out. Like he said, hey, I know a lot of the BDMs are reaching out, and then he linked me to it, and he wanted to thank all of you guys for watching it and supporting it, and maybe even if you have information, obviously. Let's try and help out.
But for us, I was like, man, he's going to be inundated with people.
Right, because he's on the morning show. They talked about it. I know Jim Colbert talked about it. I'm sure he's getting hit up left and right. I don't want to bother him anymore.
I don't really think it's our place to annoy him any more than he's already being annoyed.
And you bring up some horrible tragedy that happened to you, and you're re-talking about
again
it,
and again.
And then this huge Unsolved Mystery series comes out that the whole world was watching, and so I'm sure everybody's calling them and I saw you.
And everyone's got their theories.
Did he answer they go to Unsolved Mysteries and ask, or did Unsolved Mysteries come to them and ask?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
No idea.
That's the only question I have, is how did they get his story on Unsolved Mysteries?
Well, you know what? It's probably the Unsolved Mysteries people, because there is a book about it that came out a while ago that was there's some discrepancy with the lady that wrote it.
I think it's Unsolved Mysteries reaching out.
I think they read the book.
In the UFO one, the lady's pretty frank about. She's like, "Hey, when you guys hit us up and said you wanted to do this, I was like, not really." But then remember, she says, once I found other people had sort of the same story, I was more apt to participate.
So anyway, Samantha, we were all talking about the Unsolved Mysteries, and Samantha's like, my episode 1 wasn't Angel's Brothers episode.
That's weird. That was
because I saw everyone saying like, "Oh, the trailers for the first episode is the one about Angel," and so I started watching, and I'm like, "Wait a minute. What is this? This isn't and his wasn't until, honestly, I think it was like the 3rd episode was Angel's episode for me.
Ours is first.
And so that got me thinking. I was like, wait a minute. And then I heard...
and I'm in a bunch of like murder podcast like Facebook groups, and I saw those people talking, and somebody was like, oh, my first episode was the French episode. And I was like, wow, that's so weird.
And and I heard another podcast talk about, I think it was Bill Simmons, actually. They were talking about Unsolved Mysteries, and he was referring to Angel's Brothers episode as like another episode 3 or 4,
right?
And then I was like, wait a minute, why aren't all the episodes the same in everybody's Netflix? And then I was like, do they
randomize it for some algorithm?
But if it's all episode 1 for me, Travis, you guys, and for a lot of, I've seen a lot of BDMs reference like episode 1 as being Angel's Brothers episode, but does Netflix organize the episodes based on maybe your profile or your likes or something?
But that doesn't make sense to me because I watch more murder stuff than anybody, and they gave me the Alien one first.
Maybe because they thought they knew they had you.
Or they're
with
like,
the murder one.
they're like, get this one out of the way.
That's what I'm thinking. It's like, eat your vegetables before you eat your meat.
Maybe.
You know, I mean.
So is there anything, look up, is there any, like, are the episodes and series of Unsolved Mysteries different for everybody, and is there a reason? Like, I'm wondering on Twitch, like, there's a bunch of people in our chat room. What was your episode 1 on Unsolved Mysteries? Because I'm curious. Like, is that
yours
a thing?
Was not the missing person that we know, Angel's brother.
Yeah, mine was.
Yours was. Yeah. Mine was. Yours was.
Was not.
Yours was not. Yours was.
Mine was.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the people, when I was listening to Bill Simmons, his episodes were not the same in order as mine.
Is it any different? Is it just the first one, and then it continues in a pattern, or is it?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Do you remember what your 3rd episode?
The 3rd episode was the Angel's Brother episode.
UFO was our 3rd.
Yeah,
weird.
A bunch of people in the chat room saying...
and somebody in one of those groups said the French episode was their first. That was my last episode.
Interesting.
Yeah, so what is that? I don't know. Is that something?
And you can't just Google the answer? Because
I'm not seeing... Everything's just about how it's back. I don't see anything about an algorithm or randomizing the
Has
episodes.
this ever happened with any other show that you know of?
Well, other shows are episodic. Sequential in order, so it wouldn't work. But it
would have to be
like
another documentary stuff, like the what's the show that you and Andrea are watching about, like Guilty or Innocent or something? It would have to be something like that where everything's a different story.
Yeah, every episode
not related.
But weird. It was odd because I never would have guessed that would have been something. But
I kind of like Brock's answer. Brock BDM in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/TomAndDanLive. He says, Netflix running social experiments. I would like to think that they didn't say anything about it and then they did this just to gather data to see how people would react, or
because it makes sense to present the one that you think is going to hook the user the most so that they watch the others. You see what I'm saying? So
all right, Dan Paul has a good theory too in our Twitch chat room. Is it due to staggering streaming issues?
Like, what does that mean?
Well, if, let's say, okay, so you roll out the show and you know a ton of people are going to hammer episode 1.
So you want
leak out a different episode 1 so they're not pulling from the same, I guess, like server.
Yeah. Or so you randomize the episodes so that everybody's downloading not the same
that's
one.
That's weird, though.
I didn't think that that's how downloading stuff works.
Yeah, you're right. Because when Netflix releases, like, let's say, Uncut Gems or some new movie, everybody's going to be downloading that one at the same time. Yeah. So why would it matter if everybody downloaded the first episode and it was all the same? I'm telling you, maybe they're trying to purposely put the episode that they think the user would most like first, so it could hook them the rest of the series. Something that would be the only
Well,
explanation.
that
I can think
algorithm
of.
is broken, according to Sam, then, because everything she watches is murder, and she
Yeah.
was given a UFO
Right.
first.
True. Well, it may not be perfect, and it could have just picked up some movie that she watched, and then that, because these algorithms are like, they're not exact.
I'm curious if
obviously.
any BDMs out of state, if they didn't get the local, like the Florida episode first, maybe Virginia maybe got something else. you
Yeah,
know?
like this podcast was located in California or whatever, so their whole episodes were different as well.
So Tuna Daddy in the chat says that he just started playing the first episode, and it was about a guy named Alonzo, but when he looks at the episode list, Angel's Brothers episode is listed as episode 1. So they're playing a different episode on, if he just hit play on Unsolved Mysteries, it's playing like an episode
Was it shuffling
4
them?
Yeah, seems like it.
It looks like it's got a shuffle
Yeah,
playlist. If you just
weird.
hit play,
I don't.
otherwise you go to
I don't know.
specific episodes.
I don't know how you guys feel about this, but like Spotify, Netflix, Hulu, when they suggest things, I have never had good luck with that, and I almost wish
My Discover Weekly is always on point.
mine. Because and you don't have kids, but because you can't link more than one Spotify account unless to your Alexa, unless you have a completely separate Alexa account. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah,
your
yeah.
Amazons and they don't play nice. And we've let Maisie use mine, and then Andrea will jump on mine, and it's just all like I'll be listening to punk rock, and then the next Moana will pop in, and then some, then Jim Brickman's playing.
We
It's
may
like-
have found the answer. Big Fat Louise Normal Chungus posted...
I like it when you call him by his legal
Full name, full name.
Legal name.
Love and Robots apparently did the same thing, and Netflix responded, "We've never had a show like Love, Death, and Robots before, so we're trying something completely new, presenting 4 different episode orders." So yeah, they may
There
just,
you go.
luck of the draw of how you get your
and
order.
they're seeing which one's
collect
most
data.
popular.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
one? Okay, they'll look at. Okay, we did this episode first, this one, and we're going to throw these all out here. And which one had a retention level that was higher than the other?
Yeah.
That then how
it
did
is a
we?
social experiment.
How did we organize this? And then they're going to optimize how they organize in the future.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah,
There's
you're
your
right.
answer.
Yeah. Huh.
Makes sense to me.
By
Yeah.
the way, amazing
Weird.
series at Love, Death, and Robots, and
was
season 2 is
good.
getting ready to come out.
I heard that's really good. Yeah.
Another thing about Unsolved Mysteries, I do not like the aliens and the ghosts, just because to me it's
You got to look at it a different way. You don't look at it in like that. You're trying to believe like the story.
No,
You
but
gotta-
try and figure out what it was, if it was an alien or a ghost.
I also just like watching people say things that make them look stupid.
Okay, you're right.
So
that did it.
you got to watch like when you got like dumb old man like begging that
Yeah.
he saw a real
And then he's acting it out. Like
Oh,
he's
yeah,
laying
yeah.
on
like
the
when
ground.
that old man was
and, like,
rolling on
Yeah,
the floor,
yeah.
and
I'm like, this is
and-
stupid.
and he's like, and I was paralyzed with a tractor beam, and I'm like, look at this nerd.
I also laughed when the family, I'll call them hillbillies, the hillbilly
That's
family
polite.
said,
polite.
they're like, how we figured it out is it when we came to, Mima was in the
Yeah.
driver's seat, and
Mama was in the passenger,
Yeah.
and Meemaw, she never drove
Yeah,
her
yeah.
whole life.
And I'm like, okay, so you're telling me that these aliens that have the technology and the
and
advanced...
they said it was like a 3-hour blackout period.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a long time.
So like...
It
Have
was
you-
in the 60s.
When's the last time you drank 36 Keystone beers?
they were kids.
You'll block out for about 3 hours. You'll wake up horrible headache, and then you'll drive away from the Walgreens.
So okay,
Drunk.
let's
Don't do that.
Let's write this out here. So these aliens that traveled from a different universe, right? They had the
Light
technology
years away, Tom.
which any physicist will tell you that the technology to make that, even to use the energy that it would take
Sure.
to travel, like, close to the speed of light to get here.
It was a round silver
Well, I know,
thing
but
hanging in the air.
but they would have
Silver,
to.
copper, Andrea.
They're
didn't
such
pay
an
attention.
advanced society or an intelligence that that human beings can't even figure out how that would be possible enough to be in a small spaceship to use the energy anyway.
Sure.
So they're that advanced. They came here.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Went to Massachusetts.
They went to Massachusetts. They stole these people, or like beamed them up.
They wanted to study them.
To study them, which for what again? They would understand what humans are pretty easily. They were just an animal, just a more evolved animal.
Hey, jackpot! Look down. There's an old lady, a lady, and then another, just a male hillbilly in a car. Stop the ship!
By the way, if to spend so
They're
much,
like, jackpot, we found it all in one Buick LeSabre.
Yeah. So, by the way, you could easily have just taken them and then obliterated them to nothing.
That's what I would have done.
Study them.
Why put them back?
Yeah. So
They can rat on you.
Yeah, why put them back? I would torture them.
Oh yeah, there would be no point anyway. So
Or eat them.
So you did all this. You had the technology and all the travel here, whatever, and then you put the hillbillies back in the car and you switched the Meemaw.
You idiot! You didn't put the Meemaw behind. You put the effing Meemaw behind the wheel.
Yeah.
Bleep blop! You're a fool.
Yeah.
Fired.
Yeah.
Okay, a few things about that episode. The one guy that was in the back seat of that car, he's sitting in a...
he had the greatest...
background?
He had the greatest gold necklace
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
That guy
But he was like,
awesome.
I always have felt different, and just how this had
I know what
changed
he was
him.
saying, though. What he was saying that he didn't want to say is he's like, I'm different in my booty hole. That's what he wanted. That's what he wanted to say.
Something's
but he
different back there.
Something's,
And then I like
something's different back there.
how they went to like the historian to the chief of police, and they were all like, nobody reported it.
I also like that the
Didn't
guy,
happen.
the most credible guy
Stupid.
that acted out, he had the finest of Tony Palmiotti, Tom and Dad hats with a long comic book or VHS video news check-in clerk.
Yeah.
That long hair that he worked at
Yeah.
Video News.
Yeah.
And then the one guy at the convenience store, people are still buying.
copies of Predator 2 just come in. They're still in the return box if you want to grab them.
The convenience store guy, people are still checking out and buying things like gum and their gas behind him, but he's doing an interview about how his dad got.
Oh, that guy was great.
His dad was the sheriff or something, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, man, and it's really happened because, hey, they're talking about it, man.
Yeah.
I went out there. I looked for him. I
That
never
guy,
saw him.
did you see that guy? He
I
was.
haven't seen this episode yet.
Oh, it's awesome. You got to look
It
at it
was
like a
kind of
collection.
boring.
Of
That was the
junk.
worst
Yeah.
one.
It was too long. Like that one
Yeah.
could have been like chunked up,
It
and
was
I feel
bloated.
like the French one could have been chunked
Oh,
up
I'd love
too.
the French
I
one.
started the French
But-
one, the murder house or whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Which one was
I
that?
don't want
Did
to
I watch
read
that?
all that.
You fell asleep. It was so many.
Well, you
it was
can't
all
read.
captioned. Where, of
'Cause it's in
course-
French.
Of course, spoiler alert, right? The dad did it.
For sure. Well, yeah, he's missing.
So the problem
He's out there somewhere.
here's my gripe with
He's out
Unsolved
there,
Mysteries.
man.
He's out there,
When
man.
Talking about it.
There's
They're
enough.
talking about it.
I feel like there's enough unsolved deaths or murders and things like that to highlight, and you don't need the alien episode. And I understand that like some people
No.
believe in
You
aliens
need
and
it.
like
Can't do all murder, dude.
Right? Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
do some weird stuff.
yeah, but
It's all mysteries.
But the thing is, the mystery only relies on these hillbillies' testimonials.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, well, immediately I discredit them. So the whole mystery shot now.
It
because
is.
the mystery relies on believing
Do
these
aliens
people.
only abduct white honkies?
Yes.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
they're just the people that get drunk enough and then lie to the media.
Yeah, because they're getting.
I don't
some
think that's a
publicity.
white guy thing.
I was disappointed. There's only 6 episodes.
Yeah, I'm
I'm like Netflix. You usually give
I
me
burned
8 or
through
10.
them. And I was like, okay.
You need the UFO for the algorithm.
Yeah,
No
also-
UFO episode, no algorithm, right? Because if it's just a murder show,
There wasn't a ghost
Right, and
one, though, this
there's
season.
ton of murder shows out there. Like you can
Right.
see all of these on 20/20,
First
48 hours,
48.
first 48. So you have to break it up and show that you are different in some way.
But if there was some physical proof beyond the testimonial of the yokel, then I'm maybe back in, because then I can go, like Samantha said, find out what actually happened. So it's like if they were like, this person had burns on the side of their
the
body,
guy's
and the
painting wasn't enough.
because then it's
poor
just like
man's painting.
and it's from
He's like, I really needed to do that, man. And he's looking at it, and he's like,
Yeah.
it's like it just came out of me. I'm like, that's terrible.
Like, there's
my
some-
daughter could draw better than that.
there's some bizarre
I mean, you're like
old
50 years old.
like structures that they can't explain, like ancient structures, or how like ancient people built certain things, and like they there's a lot of alien theories and like stuff that's actually there. It's like, well,
Maybe we're getting there once we get to the hillbillies.
Plus, they've done a lot of those already in the past.
I know, but just the hillbilly being like, I was abducted, I swear to you, and it's like, All right, I don't believe it. So, case closed.
Well, I don't know, man. There's so much stuff coming out now
Yeah.
with like the Navy releasing videos of
They put that in
unidentified flying
They put that in the series. The one
so that people are interested. People are going to watch it.
I only have one part of this that I dislike. It's when older people are telling the story. It hurts my heart a little more. When it's dumb, big fat blob comic book dum dum, like when it's that guy, I'm okay with it because I'm just like, you're young enough. I'll make fun of you. It's fine. But when it's an old lady and she's like, and I'm like, I don't want you to die thinking that actually happened to you.
Yeah.
That's sad, right?
Or
She's come to terms with it.
if a person was missing, then then they believed he was abducted by aliens, then I could at least come up with my own theories of how he really was, gone missing. So something. I don't like hey, aliens abducted me, and then now I'm back perfectly fine. I swear it happened. Unsolved mystery. I solved it. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
So that's 100%. And let's go on from there.
I also like that the other reason I like this particular episode of Unsolved was that they actually call the people out for having stupid stories when they go and they check the record of anything happening that day. Nothing happened. And then like, well, I mean, and they leave it up to you to go like, oh, of course, those people are all liars.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the police are like, nothing, here's the records, nothing happened.
Yeah,
and then he mocks them. He goes through, he's like, well, we had a guy who found beer cans on his yard. He's mocking them. That's why I enjoyed that one. Still, it was the slowest one.
It was.
It wasn't very...
I had to power through that one to get all the good stuff.
Also, and then when they interview the kids that are now grown, and then they're testifying, like, you're just saying what your parents told you happened, and
Correct.
then human memory is horribly flawed. So you could have false memories.
I'm a walking testament.
Like someone could tell you, like your parents could tell you what happened some night, and then you could create a memory in your head and then tell someone.
That goes the other way too.
Oh no, of course, yeah. And so it's just like that's why we should never have or really put a lot of credit into eyewitness statements. And there's tons of people that are in jail right now because someone missaw something or and they've proved it multiple times that this is a horrible reference for any sort of evidence, and so that's why I was like. Stupid. The alien one, give me some real, unsolved mystery.
Give me some good old American murder, man.
Besides from the alien one, it is a good show.
Which one was your favorite, Sam? You said the French one?
The French one, probably. Yeah.
What'd you like the best?
Well, we've only watched 3. Alien, the Patrice
or the lady that killed her husband and got away with it.
It's weird.
Last night I wanted to watch In the Kitchen with David, but she wanted to watch Ozark.
I went back to Ozark.
So I just went to bed.
I'm behind. I haven't.
You haven't got to the end of Ozark?
No, I'm just starting the second season.
Oh,
I'm that far behind.
She's watching Ozark.
But I did other stuff. I did Sweet Magnolias before that.
I did that. That's not bad.
You know what's ruining? I watched all of Ozark, and then last night we were just the searching, and then I went to Arrested Development. I was like, this is just for a couple episodes, and then now watching Jason Bateman and Arrested Development, I can't get Ozark Jason Bateman. I'm like, this guy's a hardcore.
It's hard.
Money laundering murder.
It's hard.
And then I can't go back and forth. You get typecast if you're so into Ozark. I
think a lot of people didn't start Ozark because they didn't like Jason Bateman's snarkiness and stuff, and they couldn't see him as that kind of character.
Maybe he does a good job.
I don't like it. Yeah, because I'm so much of I was a full buy every season, watch every season Arrested Development guy, right?
Yeah.
And Dodgeball, and so I'm that.
And now you're in this serious
can't
character.
do it. No,
that's
why I
Daniel's
like
never
the show.
watched it. So.
I know what happens. I've watched a couple episodes. I like funny Jason Bateman. I don't like hardcore murdering.
If Daniel and I need something light, we'll go to American Housewife or Modern Family. We're super behind on those, so we'll just go to
But if I want something really light, which I'm going to watch tonight, because you got to do Ozark tonight, Down Home with David.
QVC.
Yeah, I'm going to do some QVC.
When we do QVC, I'm on my phone a lot more. I'll still scroll because I'm not engaged.
Yeah.
With Ozark, I sit there on my phone.
I sit there literally
with the phone in his hand, ready to buy.
Like it's 1950, and I'm a young boy with a flat top watching Ed Sullivan. I'm looking up. I'm like, when are the Beatles going to be on? I'm just like, please.
You need to start ordering stuff.
I want to. Micro won't let me.
You just start ordering it and like.
I want. There's some stuff on there.
There are some stuff I've almost pulled the trigger on. I'm like what am I doing?
I want a Foodie Ninja, number one. I'm going to get a Foodie Ninja. Last night, I heard you changed the channel. I was just falling asleep when David had just rolled out. They have a new color of Le Creuset, Dutch oven. They have it in traditional flame, and then they also had it in a new periwinkle, Sailor periwinkle.
You guys,
like a blue color.
You guys have to see this Airbnb that we're staying in at now because the lady decorated the inside, like I said, like a old Perry. But
old Perry.
I bet your wife loves it then.
She went for like Paris / haunted house because there's a bunch of black chandeliers everywhere.
Oh, gothic look. All right, I like it.
There's in the bathroom. There's a gothic chandelier, and then there's random obscure paintings, and then Tommy above my bed.
Airbnb.
There's a little shelf with like a vase and a fake flower, and then a tiny picture.
It's a tiny picture of a little bike
of like the Brooklyn Bridge and the 1910, and then
Brooklyn Bridge,
and then on the back is like in cursive. It's something. It's bizarre. Like there's a.
Can you take pictures of it?
I will. There's in the kitchen.
With David.
It's a small house.
So I sit in the kitchen and I smoke only one cigarette.
There's a 7 foot by 4 foot
Frankenstein
poster that's framed of two like it looks like two French women, like
paint me like one of your French women.
But I think one of them is a man, but it's like obscure, and then a cherub holding a wine glass up to the lips. It's bizarre.
The god of wine.
And then some French. It's bizarre, the whole thing. Then there's what looks like, you remember the guy from Ghostbusters?
Which one? There's a lot of men in that
movie. The painting that went alive. No.
Slimer.
The guy Gazul or whatever.
Gazul.
What's his name? It's him. Like it's like
the guy in the painting.
Yeah. The guy in the painting.
Yeah, Ghostbusters painting.
It's like that guy.
Gazul.
They said Zool.
Zool.
Not Gazul.
It's not Zool. Zool's off of
Vigo. Vigo. Zool's one. Vigo.
And then there's him with a French woman and a brassiere. It's bizarre. The whole thing. I'm like, what is this? Like it's crazy.
Mommy, Daddy, where did you bring me?
And then there's a tic-tac-toe, but a metal tic-tac-toe.
Oh, wow. That's for only hardcore tic-tac-toers.
Have your boys broken anything yet?
Almost. There's a giant tin rooster that they knocked over.
Oh, don't knock over the rooster.
The tin rooster.
Yeah. Everything's
Come
glass.
on down to the tin rooster.
Big old.
We can't say
that.
Butler.
You definitely can't say that.
It's a rooster.
Big old mega.
Come on. Why would you think that's appropriate? You come and sit down. I'm like, wait for it.
He hasn't said a damn thing.
Guys, me, Butler, sales, Butler with sales. I'd like to chime in. Big old.
What? It's so much extra work for nothing. Anyway, all right.
Let's take a break.
Bye. Welcome back to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. It is the time of the show where we pork before we pork. Is there anything we need to get out of the way? Is porking brought to you by anybody?
We could say brought to you by SixFlagsMulch.com. Six Flags Mulch in Longwood.
Who's mulching?
Yeah, there it is.
That's good. I like that. I ain't afraid of no mulch.
They're doing a promotion if you spend $100 or more, and this includes if maybe you're a lawn guy and you're doing a project, whatever, you get your stuff at Six Flags Mulch.
Yep.
And you spend $100, you'll get a free Tom and Dan straw hat while supplies last.
Indeed. It's Six Flags Mulch. You've got the right one, baby. Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to start finding
just
old
add things.
Yeah, I'm just, Wesley Willis, I think he might have been schizophrenic. He was definitely on the spectrum or special needs, but he had that band, remember? The Wesley Willis Fiasco, and he would end every song with like a catchphrase of a different business, and he knew, thousands of them.
Yeah.
And I always thought, that was pretty damn funny. He was I really, really liked him. Okay, you want a pork? Okay,
Yeah.
we're porking. Here we go. Tom band. What are we gonna do? We're gonna inject him with the Wuhan flu. The chat room got me. They threw me off my game with a Wuhan flu comment. We love pork. Wuhan flu.
Who's Porkin'? Brought to you by WuhanFlu.com.
No, wait, hold
Porky's barbecue.
Don't associate
No, I was doing like a
Wuhan.
No, I was doing like a
Porky.
Wu-Tang, right?
Porky's in a pop.
What's your favorite?
You guys know.
I'm sending it to you in your brain right now. Your favorite Wu-Tang Clan lyric that you have to edit in your mind is?
Yeah. Well, there's
Shame?
Yeah. Okay. Shame on N-word to try to run game on N-word.
Perfectly said.
I don't think it sounds real
I
bad.
think, I believe, yeah, it does. When you say it, sounds really
that's
bad.
the song.
Who's Porkin', ODB?
Yep.
So this is an interesting story. I'm going to go ahead and say that I am presuming that this is a pork scenario turned wrong.
Okay.
You familiar with Megan Thee Stallion, the female rapper?
Oh my God, just listening to her this morning. That remix with Beyonce?
It's good.
What? Yo, it's real good.
Not familiar, Tom?
Not familiar. Megan the Stallion?
Yeah.
Correct.
Thee. The.
Okay. Megan the Stallion.
We didn't need to yell at him. Sam and I are both mad at you. How do you not know Megan Thee Stallion?
Hot Girl Summer.
Never even heard of her.
She's good, man.
She's the best right now.
I mean, that song is.
opinion.
That song.
Well, play some Megan the Stallion.
I can't.
A lot of explicit
Yeah,
lyrics.
oh,
You
yeah.
might be able to find a radio edit version of something.
While she's explaining, I'll try.
So this past weekend, she went to a party with a man named Tory Lanez, who is also another rapper, and they went over to old Kylie Jenner's house. I believe it was, Kylie Jenner had a pool party this weekend, because, that's what you do during the Wuhan flu. You have parties. And so, everything looked fine on the Instagram stories. Everybody's having a good time. She then left with Tory Lanez and one of her best friends in an SUV, to which they were sitting outside the residence from the stories I've read, and someone heard argument in the SUV, and then gunshots supposedly shot in the air, right? And then the SUV sped off. So everyone's like, what the hell was that? Well, of course, people report it, and this SUV gets pulled over by the cops. And there's a whole video of this, too, by the way, which is pretty damn scary, because they make everybody get out of the SUV, because they don't know what's happening in that SUV, so they make everyone get out as if... they don't know who has the gun or what's going on.
Yeah.
So reportedly, Megan and Tory got into an argument, not really sure what about at the moment. And when the cops removed everyone from the SUV, they saw that Megan was bleeding from her foot, and they assumed it was like a shard of glass from one of the windows, because one of the windows was broke. Turns out, Tory Lanez shot her in the feet.
Okay.
And she had to walk backwards to the cops with bloody feet. You can see it in the video. It's pretty messed up.
Shooting a stallion's feet now.
It's such an odd story. No one knows what the argument was about. Everyone says she tried to get out of the SUV, and that's when he shot her in the feet. He's claiming he didn't shoot her, but, with her and her best friend as a witness, because they tried to say it was like self-defense, and they're like, no, there's not a lot going out right now about what the actual facts are, but I'm assuming they're not going to be porking anymore. When you get shot in the feet, that's deal breaker for me.
I wonder if there was a scuffle with the gun.
He did get arrested for a felony count of carrying a concealed weapon in his vehicle, and now he has also been charged with assault.
There you go.
Yeah. This is Megan Thee Stallion.
Well, this is Beyonce on her track.
I'm a savage.
That's Megan.
Okay.
Nasty. Talk big, but my bank account match it. Hood, but I'm classy. Rich, but I'm ratchet. Haters keep my name in their mouth, not a gag. Bougie. He say the way that thing move is.
Come on, Tom, dance.
I told that boy we gotta keep it only me the room key.
I'd give you $100 right now if you started booty popping. Rip your shirt off, man. Start rubbing your teeth.
Classy, bougie, ratchet.
It's a good track, man.
Kind of sounds like Cardi B, man, a little bit.
No, doesn't at all.
Okay.
She's from Texas. Cardi B
I
has
don't
a
hear
very
any-
strong New York accent.
I I don't hear any.
I don't know.
Any tweet
It's
noise.
the only other rapper I
Yeah.
can think of, female rapper.
Wow. Culture yourself a little, Tom.
He doesn't listen to music.
Yeah. I don't know.
And if he does, he's like,
Play some Megan Thee Stallion for your wife. She might get her booty popping out there.
Yeah, I'd watch your wife booty pop to Megan Thee Stallion.
So, some sort of argument happened.
Mm-hmm.
The gun either went off or did he purposely?
She is Megan Thee Stallion is claiming, because a lot of rumors were swirling around saying that she also got arrested and all this, and she's like, no, they took me to the hospital. This guy shot me in the feet. Like, she is straight up saying he
But it
shot
sounds
me
like
in
an
the feet on
accident.
purpose. She's saying it was not. She
Yeah.
was trying to get out of the SUV.
Oh,
And in order for her to not leave, he shot her in the feet. That is a bold move.
Yeah,
You also ruin your SUV.
couldn't.
And how do you think he was going to get away with that?
Well, he's gonna
Like,
kill
she's
her.
not going to go to the hospital?
Yeah,
I would imagine he'd kill her, right? I mean, normally,
Well,
like,
possibly,
I don't know
yeah.
about you, Sam, but when I shoot people, and, you know, like, and the question is, how did I think they were going to get away with, like, or get away from me?
But he could have shot her to kill her if that's what his intentions were, but he made it so she just couldn't get out of the car.
Uh-huh.
It's
Why
a
don't you-
bizarre
Why
story.
don't you just
Yeah.
lock the door with child locks?
Well-
that's easier than.
Maybe she broke out the window. Maybe that's why the window was broke.
Rarely see people shoot other people in the feet. Mm-hmm. An odd
And
place
then
to
have
get
to
shot.
walk on your feet. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Afterwards?
I wonder, was there a bullet hole in the floorboard of the SUV?
Gotta be, right?
Gotta be.
I mean, the bullet would go
They
through.
said 4 shell casings were found inside the vehicle.
So he shot 4 times, and
That's
was
also really loud, right?
was she
Well,
hit
remember, before
once?
they sped off, that people claimed that he was someone was shooting in the air outside of Kylie Jenner's house. So that could have been some of the shell casings fell in from that. Maybe he only shot her once in the foot. There's not a ton of information yet.
I don't know
You know
about you
what's
guys,
weird?
but if I'm having a party
Yeah.
and I'm a big time celebrity, I'm probably going to install some sort of a security device that will make sure that my rich and powerful friends from all walks of life don't carry guns into my house.
Well, that's what I was going to ask.
A lot of guns.
So Kylie Jenner is a billionaire, right?
Yes.
She's so you got this
I think
billionaire.
you and I are on the same wavelength there.
And where their whole family is multimillionaires. Kanye West is involved somewhere. That
Oh,
crazy
yeah, he's
person.
involved.
So like
Man,
lots.
you seen some of his speeches this weekend? Ooh.
Yeah. It's bipolar. Like
Yeah,
it was
he's a
like
crazy person.
It's like
Ew.
you are watching a person with mental illness. Like
Yeah.
that, and like no one ever brings it up. Like this guy.
People
is
actually are bringing it up
bipolar.
quite a bit right now, saying that people need to get him help because he's having a manic episode.
Yeah.
if he picked
they
Britney
shouldn't-
Spears as his running mate, he has a shot. If he does the Instagram walking,
I
I'll
gotta
go
be
for that.
honest, I don't even know if she's allowed to run without her dad's permission.
Yeah. Well, she would.
Well,
need
that's
that.
probably good, right?
Yeah.
I think all presidents' dads should be involved in he helped. Well, not now. Well, never mind.
She could.
Bad
She could work from home. That's fine. Like,
She has to. She can't leave her mansion.
That's true.
You know,
You can zoom in.
it's not like Melania
Yeah.
doing that much. You know, like really.
Let's go to our COVID task force in charge of it. Britney Spears. We'll go to Zoom. Britney, are you up? She's modeling outfits again.
Hold the Goya can.
You look great, Brittany.
Do some tweets. Yeah, that's fine.
Keep your mask on.
So it's bizarre that like there's so much wealth and like high important people, these, like celebrities and stuff like that, and then you're gonna bring a gun into the situation. It's like how
Are you referring to this situation?
Yeah.
Oh, because I mean, he's
He's about that life.
Megan Thee Stallion's producer has also come out and like tweeted kind of threatening tweets to this guy, and basically is like, oh, you're trying to get like be about that life and have clout, like you're some kind of gangster, like you don't go around shooting women in the feet. She did have surgery to remove bullets from her foot, so she said
How big are her feet?
She said
Like, don't-
multiple gunshot wounds.
Don't bullets go through your feet? They don't lodge in them.
That's
Or bone.
stallion.
Well, she
feet.
is a
Yeah,
stallion.
she does have stallion feet.
Do
so.
they blow her horseshoes off?
Oh.
Ow,
Oh my
ow.
God,
Those are 24-karat horseshoes.
he shot her multiple times in the feet.
Yeah,
like
man.
think about this.
You
He's
had
like,
a bullet lodge in your foot.
He's like, F your feet! Like shooting in the floorboard. And she's like, yeah!
Shame on the feet that try to run game on the feet. That's what I say.
Like, he pulled his gun out and started shooting her feet up.
It is bizarre.
Yeah. This is
It's one of my favorite. Who's Porkins? Because it is so absolutely bizarre.
Listen, this is bizarre.
He
but
didn't want to kill her.
I'm not going to lie.
Doesn't seem like it. Seems like a very controlling man that needs to be in jail.
I'm going to go back to what I always say, and I'm stealing this really from you. This is gun plus dum-dum.
Yeah.
Yeah. And go shoot the feet.
It's really about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shoot the feet.
Although, I'm not going to lie, I've wanted to shoot my wife's feet multiple times in my life.
Not maybe this particular, who is the gunman, the alleged gunman?
Well, I was saying Tory Lanez, but someone in the chat
Lanes?
said it's
Tory Lanez?
pronounced like Lane.
Yeah, I've heard that name before. Here's what I would say.
I'm not familiar with him.
Here's what I would say in this, because you asked a very good question about this.
No.
I'm gonna guess that she has size 10.
No, she's short.
Yeah, but
she's short.
you got to have big feet that carry a couple bullets in them, right? Like look at my little baby
man.
feet. My foot, I don't think my foot could hold one bullet. It'd blow it right in half.
Yeah.
If you hit me in the ankle, my ankles would blow off.
You could wear a bullet as a shoe.
Thank you.
Wait a
Hollow it
second.
out.
Call them Danny bullet shoes.
If you hollow them out, yes, I could. Just put some grip on the bottom.
Actually,
I don't
you know
want
what?
skis.
I am incorrect. She's as tall as me. She's 5'10".
Hence the stallion.
Yeah.
They don't call her Megan the
So
Fire
she's
Hydrant.
probably got size 10s
Yeah.
like I do.
I'm going to
Big
say
size
10s.
10s.
Yeah, I like them big. My wife's tallie. I like the tallies.
Now, when you're shooting your girlfriend's feet, is it like, do you point blank shoot the feet, or
I mean, they were in a
No,
car
no.
together.
is it a down shoot at the feet,
If
or
it-
is it
Sideways?
If it were-
right point at the feet?
If it were point blank, bullet would go through.
Yeah.
So this was a from the sky.
Yeah, but even from
You don't want to shoot through your car.
did it mention what kind of gun it was?
it was like a Desert Eagle.
Because if you had like
357.
I think like a 45 caliber, either 9mm would destroy your feet. I guess if you had like a hollow point bullet in there or something,
it'd
like
rip 'em right in half.
Oh, it'd blow. I mean, the bones and stuff. Like,
Is she known
yeah,
for?
a 22 would probably go clean through.
Is
and
she
not,
known for her feet? Head on.
Not that I'm familiar with.
Is she a dancer or more of like a? I've never.
I mean, she dances in her videos.
I know her
and
music,
on her
but
live stage performances.
I've never seen her perform. I didn't know if she was like.
It's gonna mess up some of her dancing, I'm sure,
Okay.
because she wears like high heels.
That was my question. Is she like extravagant costuming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you this: like,
Yeah, this guy's screwed, right?
couldn't this
is
guy
it.
be charged with attempted murder?
Absolutely.
I mean, the charges might change.
Because if you shoot someone, no matter where, you could make an argument that it's attempted murder, right? Like, even if you shot someone in the feet, they could bleed out, or you could make the argument that he tried to shoot her and then it just hit her feet, right? It's like, I mean, it's hard for you to like say that you just meant to hurt her feet a little.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
there's
saying? Like,
two
you
things,
shot a gun.
Two
Yeah.
things here.
You know?
Very rarely, if never, have I ever seen anybody in real life use the move that the cowboys would do, where they're trying to disarm you, so they shoot the gun out of your hand. That just doesn't happen. Here's another one that cowboys used to do. In order to threaten you and make you pee your pants, they would say, "Dance," dance, and then they would shoot at your feet.
Yeah,
Maybe he was doing the old cowboy
dance.
You dance, you lily livered. You know, and then you and then the bullets would go and you'd be like, "Come on, man, I'll tell you where the gold's at. I'm sorry, just don't shoot my boots." You know, it'd be like that.
Yeah.
And there's also like a lot of the
I must
eyewitnesses are not talking to the police, like they're not cooperating.
Of course
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
because you're about that life.
Well, also,
And if you're not a rat,
you're all friends with each other. I guess when you get your feet shot up, you're not that close of friends. But she would just
that's
have
what my mom used to say. If your friends ever shoot your feet, they are not real friends.
she would just have to say like, yeah, he pulled a gun on me and shot me, and that guy's going to jail for a long time, right?
It doesn't sound very cool when they're like, "What are you in for?" You gotta just say, shut my girlfriend up, man. And they're like, what are you in for? I shot Megan Thee Stallion's feet. I shot her hooves.
Again, this goes under rage, right? Like you're making a stupid decision off of some argument.
Sounds like anger, yeah.
Then you brought a gun to Kylie Jenner's billionaire party.
Right.
Like, what an idiot.
Yeah.
Like,
And you would think, well, maybe he never brought it in. Maybe he just left it in his car. I don't know. But you would think if you're, Kylie Jenner, you'd probably have people search before they come in your house, right? Or do you just trust them as your friends? I don't know.
I'm going to guess it stayed in the vehicle.
Yeah.
you probably have security guards at all times, right? When you're a billionaire, like
I would
that
imagine,
becomes part of your daily
You have to.
cost of living, right? Yeah.
I mean, you could be kidnapped at any time, right? I mean,
you have like
so I have a bodyguard all the time because I'm so rich.
you have multiple bodyguards.
Not true.
And around your house, there's 24-hour security, right?
Cameras,
Yeah.
Apparently, this guy's only 5'3". Maybe.
Hey, he's like me. He likes the tallies.
Tiny.
Like me. Actually, I'm tinier.
Yeah. But around the same,
No, 5'3". He towers over me. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
It'd be like me. I'd be like, hey, my God, is that Shaquille O'Neal? Is that the new Shaq-a-Roni pizza?
Don't take the power away.
Oh, don't order the shakaroni.
I was going to order the Shaq-a-Roni from Papa John's.
Flies.
And then I opted out, and I got that new one that's the meatball pepperoni. Their
Not
meatballs
familiar.
are a little too tightly packed.
You gotta go! You gotta go! Welcome back to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I'm Dan.
Let's do some voicemails.
If you want to leave us a lovely voicemail, you can do so with our free app, completely free. Just go to wherever you get apps for your smartphone, type in Mediocre App, or type in Tom and Dan. It'll pop right up. Let's try this one right here.
Hey, I know y'all were talking about the dude.
Okay. This is Southern Kermit.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
And he's one of my favorite voices because once I've said Southern Kermit, you'll never be able to unhear it.
Hey, I know y'all were talking about the Dude Perfect guys a while ago and how they would do a show at the AMC or whatever y'all call it out there. They actually do their other bits that they do and only do, like Tom said, the really, really easy trick shots that look hard and a lot of interaction with the kids. And also, I know this is going to make Tom a little happy. The main guy is a ginormous D-head. I've met him a couple of times, and I've known people that have talked to him a couple of times, and he's just not a pleasant person to be around.
Oh, he was mean to Southern Kermit?
Have a good one.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side?
Southern Kermit.
One day we'll find it. Southern Kermit Connection.
So
That's good, man. Southern Kermit, meet me at the studio one night. We'll cut that.
You must be a big D head with if it whittled down all the way to Southern Kermit and he knows about it, right?
Yeah.
So
Southern Kermit knows it all.
And how come he's met them a few times?
Hey, Southern
What
Kermit.
does Southern
for crying-
Kermit do?
maybe he lives. They live up near him. I don't even
In
know
Texas?
where.
It says their headquarters are in Frisco, Texas.
There you go.
I know.
Kermit's got his
Danger
webbed
Brain.
thumb on the pulse of everything.
Danger Brain did their.
Could they have
original
any more
branding.
dude bro names? Tyler, Kobe, Cody, Corey, Garrett.
Oh yeah. No, they're all dude bros.
Good God.
Is that
man.
dude perfect? And I think they're real.
I didn't know
Christian.
this was like an actual group of.
Are they Christian? Look up if
beings.
Dude Perfect is
Yeah, I
Christian.
think Sebastian told us because when we found out that Danger Brain did their branding, like initially, I don't know if they still do or whatever.
yeah, we
Then
wanted
we're
to have
like,
him on,
We're like,
yeah.
hey, let's get him on for an interview. This is 7 years ago,
Yeah,
or
at
whatever.
least.
And then he was like, I don't know, they're real Christian and they may be scared away by you guys. And so I was like, really? Oh, like they're like
yeah.
how like in the,
Above all else, our ultimate goal is to glorify Jesus Christ in everything that we do. We use this platform for something much bigger than us.
They should-
I didn't know they were Christian at all. Then use your platform for
Yeah, they never
Jesus.
mention it in the
Didn't even know
YouTube
you were
videos.
involved with Jesus.
They don't even have like a Jesus basketball or anything. They should scream like
dunking Jesus.
yeah. Like when you make a shot, you should be like you should point up at Jesus, right?
Boom shakalaka.
You
I
should-
want Jesus to do a trampoline dunk and then blood to start spraying out of his hands.
I like it. You throw the half court shot, you make it, you point up at Jesus, you're
And
like,
he comes down.
why didn't you do it the first time? It's 85 times I
I've been
tried that.
videoing this all Sunday, Jesus.
Yeah. You could have made it once. Now I give you credit for the 85th try. Like, I don't know if that was Jesus. Like, he sat back there and watched you do it 85 times, and then he's like, 86.
But it
This
would-
time's a miracle.
But it would be funny if you did point up and then suddenly you heard, "Oh yeah," like if Jesus gave you the double thumbs. We were go ahead. Sorry.
No, the Dude Perfect the show. It makes sense.
They have a cartoon show, right?
It's all
And toys.
Yeah, they're franchise. I think they all
They have jalapeno and bacon beans.
do they
They
make
they sell their own beans.
they make a lot of
Dude,
money.
perfect beans.
Yes.
Can you get me some of those?
They're
Where-
called the perfect beans.
Because they get together with like Nerf and like
Yeah.
the Nerf Corporation.
Nerf got that real money.
and then they'll
Trust me, I bought a Super Soaker over the weekend, which, by the way, is owned by Nerf now, and it's like $20 for a stinky old gun.
and they'll do like their bits.
I don't
of-
see. I mean, other than that one sentence in their about section, it's all pretty much just buy all of our stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with Jesus. Do they give back to anybody in the community?
You don't want to put that out there too much. You'll turn away a lot of people.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
just
yeah.
sneak
But
it in
they
there.
said their whole point of the platform was so that they could represent Jesus.
Yeah, but
well, that's to get
secretly.
into the Midwest.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. In the Midwest, you open it up, you do a
Yeah,
few
yeah.
more, like, hey, put your hands
It's
up.
like politics. Like you're like, oh, I got the Bible here.
Yeah.
You want the votes,
Dude,
yeah.
pander is what it should be called.
Listen, I'll give it to them. Like
Yeah.
they made
I
a
want to
lot of
try
money
their
off
beans.
You can find them at Aldi, apparently.
of these trick shot videos, and they like made it into a business and they went hard with it.
Explain to Aldi
Look up
to
their
me.
net worth because I want to say they're maybe all millionaires, but
I think they're worth a lot of money. If they got their own brand of beans at Aldi.
Right?
yeah.
What is Aldi, and like, why do I keep getting told I should go there?
The brand is worth $30 million.
Whoa,
That's good.
Yeah.
Well done, dude.
They probably it's its own. Maybe they've partnered with someone who turned it into a business, and they probably
Yeah,
pay all.
it's a sports and comedy entertainment brand.
Okay, yeah, they probably got bought out by a bigger production company, and now they all just get either like a portion of the revenue. or
Live
like,
Nation presents Dude
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah. Like this tour and stuff. Like you need a bigger corporation to come and run everything for you. I think it's like why like the Nitro Circus went to live shows and
Yep.
stuff. Like you get in a bigger company like a Live
And you
Nation.
can just put it on
I think Live Nation
autopilot.
runs that.
They
you
do.
know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
And that's where the sweet money's at because you don't have to.
You don't have to do anything.
Yeah. They just do it all for you. Now you're working for the man again, but who cares? You're rich.
Yeah, and a lot of times you can license it out. You know, like when Gravedigger licensed himself out to Live Nation and to that whole truck series that basically got absorbed by Live Nation.
You just sit back and
He
collect the
didn't do it.
checks.
He basically said, I'm not going to do it. That's the team driver. Give me the money. Here's the truck.
Although it's all that like Dennis Anderson's family, like it's the daughters, the sons, like
Well, sometimes he had another guy.
cousin.
You just hire
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah.
You know, you get some old NASCAR guy to ride in it.
Same thing with Blippy. Like he just like
He just gets an actor.
anybody could play Blippy and
Yep.
they go do live shows.
Not anybody.
Blue Man Group.
Not anybody, and this is a hot take, but it's just going to be weird if, like, Don Cheadle comes out as Blippy.
yeah.
People are
You're right.
probably going to think it's just poor casting.
Yeah.
I'd support it because the guy's infinitely talented, but he might have some
You
bad
may
parents.
Stick to skinny white nerd.
I would, I would. But hey,
They're brand ambassadors for Nerf.
yeah.
Yeah. They got that Nerf money. Like
Nerf is Nerf.
I don't know much about the Dude Perfect guys, I gotta be honest.
they just started in Texas, like doing the whole this. I mean, this is everywhere on the internet now, but at the very beginning of YouTube and stuff, like trick shot video compilations were like starting to be a thing, and you try the shot in creative ways until you make it, and then you just edit all the ones you made it together, and then you got your trick shot video, and they turned that into a giant business.
Yeah.
Good for them, but
Yeah.
it's fascinating to me. And it's fascinating that none of the original guys like had.
They got their own Pringles flavor. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what?
They got in, but I'm telling you, another company came and bought them out, and then
this was also like 15 years ago they started doing this.
Yeah, and they used the other company used their connections to get together with Pringles and Nerf, and you know what I'm saying. You need that.
Grady Seasons in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live says, you guys should get Tom and Dan lookalikes to do the BDM events for you. I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah.
Especially now with Corona.
Yeah.
We could start having auditions.
Can we
holograms?
Do we pre-record a BDM show and then the Tom and Dan lookalikes just mouth it as if they're talking, and then they practice so that they pretend like they're doing it live, but it's still
No. They're saying BDM events. We'll still do all the shows.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the events,
we'll just
they
send
show
out
up.
people that are not as essential as we are that can get COVID and die.
Yeah.
We just have to find those people.
Yeah.
And they have to look
That's
exactly
good.
like
We
us.
need our doppelgangers.
I don't want to die. So
Me neither.
But I don't have any problem with someone else dying.
Me neither. It's kind of like that box that that weird old guy gave Cameron Diaz and said, if you hit this button, someone else in the world will die.
Oh, yeah.
And I would just be like, dun, 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 dun. I would just start hammering it.
Yeah.
Like if
There's so many people.
Hold on. If they said, well, you might die, I'd be like, I don't want to touch the thing. But they're
Really? One? You got one out of how many billions?
because there's still a chance. But if they're like,
No,
look, this
that's
is
zero.
just going to kill innocent people. It could be infants. It could be old people. I'd be, how many hits do I get?
If someone told me, a genie came down and said,
Why are there genies in heaven?
Think
about that.
I guess he'd come up.
Out of the lamp, really.
So he.
Well, I guess if the lamp was on the ceiling.
If someone said, I'll give you $100 for the rest of your life.
It's a cheap genie.
every time the lottery's played. But if it hits these numbers, you'll get a preset of how many numbers in the lottery? 6. I'll give you the 6 numbers.
With 2 Powerball numbers for 8.
If you hit it, you die instantly. But if it doesn't, then $100. I'll take that deal all day long. I'll probably do it for 10 because it's so unlikely that.
And you'd feel great though if they got if it's 6 numbers and they got 5, you'd be like, yes, Woo, that's not going to happen again for a while.
Well, yeah. Well, that I
technically the odds are still the same, but
yeah. I'm just telling you the statistics.
Right. Yeah.
Live by them.
Dude, perfect. Let's try this one.
Hey Sam, Tom, Dan, Butler, whoever else may be there this evening. This is Christina from Oklahoma. Y'all were talking about Sloppy Joes the other night, and it inspired me to get that because we're trying to eat really cheap meals during the week to save money, but we don't eat a lot of beef. So my husband got the turkey, the ground turkey, but he got the really low fat. There's no fat.
The lean
turkey breast.
No, dry.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. That's healthy. It's not going to have
You
fat
gotta
in it.
season the hell out of it.
Oh, well, you better. I oil mine up, so it's basically beef.
Yeah.
It was so bad. And I didn't want to hurt his feelings, but I was like, babe, this is not good. It didn't taste like the Sloppy Joe of my childhood. Anyway, I was just wondering if you guys ever tried to substitute something for something else, and it just didn't quite do it. I don't know. We try to be healthy, but I'm all about butter. I've got to have real butter. I've got to have real cream of mushroom soup from Campbell's.
That's not real. That is just real cute.
Are you calling us to tell us that healthy food is not as good? We know.
Yeah. I also she said, I want to have real cream of mushroom soup. That's all salt and fat. That's not even real.
But I want the salt and fat.
That's
butter.
That's just
butter,
a process.
Salt, fat.
I mean, if you want to make cream of mushroom from scratch, then that would be real cream of mushroom. Campbell's is concentrated.
I know what she's saying.
Yeah,
full fat, full oil,
full
butter.
Now I understand why our listeners get so frustrated at me. Her talking. I was like, man, when I try to eat this healthy food, it just doesn't taste as good.
Well, there are healthy alternatives that sometimes taste just as good, you know. But we went on a ground turkey kick for a while. It is just not the same.
I like
fat
it.
is fine. You just got to stay away from carbs. Sugar and carbs, like you cut those out, have as much fat as you want.
I like.
You know what? I'll buy your diet book instead of Seth's.
Ground
Seth
turkey.
is too extreme.
You can do ground turkey, just don't overcook it. You know, put a little oil in there, put your ground turkey breast in there, sizzle it up. When it starts to brown, pull it and let it continue cooking. Don't cook it until it's just sandpaper crumbles.
It will dry. Yeah.
But it's all bread. Stay away from the bread and carbs, and you'll be fine.
But bread and carbs are
That's
yummy.
it. I know. And there's no substitute for that. Guess what? There's like there's like low carb breads inside. They're just not good.
No.
So it's just
That Dave's bread.
Yeah, you just
He has hamburger buns now.
But my advice.
Yeah. When you pick up the thing, I picked it up for hamburgers. It's 4 hamburger buns. It's 19 pounds.
Yeah. I think
I'm not doing that.
People try to go on diets and they try to then go everything healthy. So they're like, no bread, no carbs, no sugar, no fat,
what can I
no
eat?
butter. Like, and then it's like, no, just get the carbs and bread away. Still, you eat the fat and
How
stuff
do I
like,
eat a cheesesteak with no carbs?
That's the problem.
Well-
you gotta eat it in like a lettuce wrap or something. That's there is
Not as good.
You have to.
And lettuce doesn't absorb
I don't have a
grease.
lettuce plant.
Yeah, you have to. Make,
I do. You want some of my lettuce?
Yeah, I guess.
It's not as good. It isn't, but that's the only way. I'm sorry. It's and get some
How dare
Adderall.
you.
That'll help you.
Well,
I want
No
Adderall.
bread,
Some Adderall.
Adderall.
I
In
wanna
fact,
put-
with Adderall, you could really do it.
yeah, you can eat the carbs with the Adderall.
If you have Adderall, just put the Adderall on your bread and you're fine.
Yeah.
You know what? Just Adderall. That's all.
Okay.
All right. There we go. Hot take. Another hot take. We've had sit-stand debate. We've had, what were the other hot takes that Tom's brought up that people freak
God.
out and they call in about? We've had multitudes of them. I'm just blanking on them right now.
I forget.
The newest one that we have is our quest collectively as a show to find a man who is a lunch lady, a
Okay.
lunchman.
Right.
We can't find one. I don't think more rare than Bigfoot.
Yeah.
There are more big feets in the world than there are lunchmen. This guy's calling in to check in.
Hey T&D, Shart and Randy here. Now you're putting out the call for the lunchman. Went to high school in the north side of town back in the late 90s. And, our friend Mr. Kramer also attended this high school. And we had a lunchman who was a giant, sassy black man with the Demolition Man blonde flat top.
Cool.
What?
All
Hold on a second. That's
Now-
awesome. Now you're
I'm
describing.
calling BS. I'm thinking Kramer because we know he's a one-upper. He's hired Shart and Randy to say that they had a lunchman because Kramer has to have one-up everybody and
Not
say
only
that he's done everything.
Right, but not only a lunchman, but an extremely cool-looking lunchman.
Yeah, that's extreme. No way.
Fat Demolition Man.
days, just like super friendly, just slinging food. Freaked out when I went to pay a toll at the Lake Jessup Toll Plaza, and he was doing the same gig there, collecting tolls. So he was double dipping. You had the Demolition Man lunchman, Demolition Man tollman.
Whoa.
2 for 1. See
Two
ya.
for one.
Look up Lunchman Tolman. We got to find Lunchman Tolman.
What do you mean?
Demolition Lunchman Tolman.
Now,
by the way, Randy, let me just help you out. If you're going to go Lunchman and Tolman, you got to say Demolition Mun.
Right,
Got to
right.
teach you guys like
and we did say we're looking for a elementary school lunchman,
not a high school lunchman.
Right.
because we figured that like there will be male lunchmen in high school.
I think
or
you
it's more
would-
prevalent in elementary school. No male lunchmen.
Look, I'm going to go out on a limb and say if I were trying to be a responsible principal, you know, and I would probably have at least one lunchman in there just in case something went down. I'd have a bigger dude, you know. I mean, why not?
Yeah,
I don't need any disrespect in my school. What'd that guy say? Something. They used to call me Batman. Like, what was that movie? Like,
what is that?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's the one where the guy comes in and he's got the bat and he's the inner city school and he just really starts setting it straight.
Gangster Paradise.
It's not
Julio?
Gangster Paradise.
Dangerous Minds?
No, it's not Dangerous Minds.
Oh yeah.
Deliverance.
Look up the phrase, they used to call me Crazy Joe, now they call me Batman.
Gangster's Paradise. The song is stupid. Just let's
You want to analyze it?
let's just call it for what it is.
I
in
have-
the 90s,
Lean on me.
Lean on me. That's what it is. Lean on me. You want to hear?
Coolio is not a good rapper.
No, he is not.
But he was good enough to be.
But I know every word of that song.
Mega famous.
Yeah.
It is his number one hit with 475,000 plays just this month. All right, here it is.
Who's still thinking like?
It's
I gotta
it's
hear
catchy.
some
It's very
Paradise.
catchy.
Listen to the words. They're
As
stupid.
I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But
I can't do it.
Never fucking man that
I can't
didn't
do it.
What does that
deserve it.
mean? Who is that?
He's had a hard life. He's got to get his S together.
But he said he was laughing and blasting.
Yeah, that's
That
not
sounds
good.
awesome.
yeah.
No, I want to laugh and blast.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but
last
when
night
you're
I had
getting
to-
thrown in prison for it.
I know.
it's not
Last night I had to
fun.
run to the kitchen bathroom to hide so I could blast real quick. And then,
There's no laughing.
There was absolutely silent. Had the fan on.
And your mama thinks your mind is gone. What does that mean? Like
that he's gone. You
Like,
can't reel him
you can't
in. He's
come
never
back.
going to make anything for himself. He's
Oh,
just going to
too-
be laughing and blasting.
Oh, too much
Yeah,
laughing.
Too
and
much
blasting.
laughing and blasting.
I don't know. I feel like my sons are like maybe I die and then I'm able to come back as a ghost or adults. I'm like, hey, what have you made for yourselves? What have you made of your life? And they both said, I'm laughing and blasting. I'm like, oh,
That would mean something else to your kids.
It's like
Doesn't sound that
it's like
bad.
the hip hop version of driving and crying is laughing and blasting. It sounds like an alter ego band. All right, let's do one.
Coolio, you stink.
Wow. I like it when you come in here fired up, man.
I'm
I
saying.
love a good fired up Tom. Now, I'll give you your choice. We could either go with a weed cube recipe that some weedman sent in.
Okay.
We can go with a question about bugs, or we can go with a guy who thinks Sam is a big T racist.
Hold on.
what
Big
he
Fat
said.
Chungus is telling me my privilege is showing because I don't understand laughing. He's a laughing and blasting. He's laughing. I'm just
Some
saying.
people never laugh.
Just words. I'm going by the words. Anyway, go on.
Let's go bugs.
Oh, I wanted Weed Cube.
All right, we'll do weed cube. Look, it's nobody's
Also interested on why I'm a racist.
Well, because we were talking about Grant from here. I'll play it. I'll play this one.
Hey, Tom and Dan. I was listening to Corporate Time, the episode titled Virtual Hobnob. And Tom was talking about stupid Mythbusters again. And Dan interrupted to say, Mythbusters, oh, Grant, bless his heart. And Sam then says in the background, oh, bless his heart.
I don't think you said that.
Never would have
No,
said
you
that.
would never do
Yeah,
it.
that doesn't sound like a Sam.
Samantha's not known
It
for-
sounds like me.
It does sound
Yeah.
And a funny joke, and I laughed when you said it. So I don't know what that means.
That wouldn't even be
Wait a minute, so
anything I would think was funny.
We did the show.
No.
I said, because I just found out that Grant died, I said, bless his heart. And then you in your mind made a fictional Sam
Time
say,
ghost.
bless his heart. And then you laughed in your own.
Yeah.
So you're doing a separate show in
Yeah,
your own
I mean,
mind.
it's horrible and it's racist. I agree, but doesn't sound like something that's
Yeah, I got
Fake news, sir.
But also, me and Chungus laugh.
Tracy, I didn't say that because I had just found out that Grant passed away. I was sad about that. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
He's
No,
a
no.
young dude.
Yeah,
Like
we
49 years
We don't
old.
take anything seriously, and also there's no chance of his friends and family hearing that. So
Oh, God, you spilled the water.
if there was, it brings up a good point because if we thought that Grant from Mythbusters friends and family were listening to the show, we'd never say that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, but you say disrespectful things because they never hear it. So what does it hurt?
Who is buried in
Right?
Grant's tomb?
Is this a riddle?
Play the next.
Okay. I'm sorry. Weed cube.
Oh God, we gotta go. Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer, is here. We are live from the beautiful Tom and Dan Streamline Studios. Shout out to Streamline. Why am I thinking about that? Because you need to take advantage of those interest rates.
Oh, yeah, they're insanely low.
Do it now.
I literally am refinancing right now.
I have refinanced every day this week. I did on Sunday, then I did Monday. Yesterday I did it. Might do it today.
Yeah, it's just business. Talk to Brian. He'll let you know whether it's good for you or not.
Indeed. We have a guest on the line. We have not talked to this particular gentleman in a minute. I'm going to forego his news theme, and I'm just going to go right to him, ladies and gentlemen. Orlando's most heroic police officer or sheriff officer. It is a true American hero. It is Lieutenant Corporal John Busdecker. Is that what you are now?
Captain. I'm a captain now.
Captain Bus.
He's the captain.
There you
now.
go. Hey.
John Busdecker, everybody. We knew him. Now, remember that we have known John when he was Sentinel. We have known John when he was Wesh. We knew John when he was unemployed and maybe blowing through the wind. Then we knew him when he was freelance. We know Sunny Orange Productions, and now we know him the long D of the law. John Busdecker. He is the official storyteller for basically right now John Mina, probably, right?
Well, Orange County Sheriff's Office. I mean, Sheriff Mina is in charge.
Tell Mina.
I work for the Sheriff's Office as a whole.
I got a personal message from Mina, and I want you to guarantee me you will tell him this.
Okay.
I threw up. Tell him that old, 2015 Orlando's big shot. I threw him my vote last night, and I dropped it in the mail this morning, so he's guaranteed to win. It's in the bag, and that's coming from Danny Denny.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that, but I'm going to do it.
I'll let him know.
Yeah, I sat down with my newspaper and with my laptop and with my ballot, and I went through and I looked up every single candidate. I know this drives Tom crazy, and I looked everybody up. And I picked who aligns with what I think, and I filled in the boxes because I'm a hero.
All right. I appreciate you voting.
That is good. I didn't even know
elections
this
were
was
happening.
a thing.
All right, wow.
Well, you live up in Seminole County, so we don't really care about that.
That's a different animal out there.
You're District 12 over there.
I mean, you guys are still out there slopping pigs and tending to your crops.
Yeah,
it's Lord of the Flies up in Castleberry.
Castleberry, you head down to the general store and
order there.
Get some rock candy for your kid while you're getting some feed for your chickens.
Let's switch the focus of attention to Busdecker and his nerd van.
I was trying to prolong this because I knew that you were going to go hard and heavy on our friend, but I'm defenseless now.
So it's interesting to me too that they even what's the outside of that van? Is it
it's a Dodge Caravan.
Is it blank white or does it have
does it say Orange County Sheriff's Office
Orange
on it?
County logo?
No, it's unmarked, blank white. No white.
Oh, now when you say blank white, I'm assuming that you were like editing a curse word.
No, just blank. Just no markings on the car.
So let me get this straight. Captain Busdecker is driving around a blank white van. All I'm saying is that it's a Fiesta scenario.
Yeah.
It's,
pretty soon you're going to have Orlando's hottest teens signing the headliner with a Sharpie. Tom knows.
So there's actually a reason I have this van. I used to have a Ford Fusion, which is, a sedan, a family sedan. But what happened was the passenger side door would just open on its own sometimes when I would make turns.
No, that's your ghost partner.
I had to trade it in, and it got recalled, and so they assigned me the minivan, and I literally just got this today. And I got in, and I was like, this is pretty sweet. I can get used to this.
That was your new movie, Cop and a Ghost, where your partner your partner is a ghost, but he's an overzealous kind of a rookie, and he was always opening the door to try and solve crimes, and you're like, get back in here, ghost.
I love that they gave the video nerd the nerd van.
They did. They gave you the, what is that? It's like the AV Club van.
Yes. I have a lot of gear, so it's going to come in handy handy. Say all you want. Make fun of me all you want.
I'm with you, Bus.
The sheriff van, everybody knows, is for the nerds and the corners. No, nobody else has it.
Yeah.
You in the corner get the nerd
And
van.
the coroner's cooler because he plays with like dead bodies all day. You know, what do you do? You play with, ooh, look, I got a new Zoom recorder to get some hot audio.
Yeah, best vehicle in the sheriff's force, Dare officer.
Oh yeah,
he gets
He's got a 1988 Corvette that says no marijuana on the back.
or he gets the souped up Subaru like street race car that they
like a
impounded.
rally car.
Yeah, the underglow, the whole.
Hey, Bus, ask him if they'll give you the Dare Corvette to drive around. Dude,
I don't think they do this in our sheriff's office, our sheriff's department, but I do know in other counties, like when they seize vehicles from drug dealers, they'll turn those into Dare vehicles. So you'll see like a 64 Impala with, 20-inch spinners into the cop vehicle.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that.
You gotta get one of those.
Yeah, with some hydraulics on it.
Well, we didn't call you to make fun of your minivan. We actually wanted to talk to you about the work you did
I
with
feel
those
like you
divers.
did call me to make fun of my minivan.
No, we didn't know you had a minivan.
We were going to talk
be
about
fair.
his latest video, which is pretty damn amazing, but I think Tom's kind of convinced me to kind of stay on minivan a little while longer. Like I feel comfortable here. It's like it feels nice. So tell us about the new story that you did about how rescue diving probably not something you'd want to do there, Bus?
Yeah, so as you guys know, the Orange County Sheriff's Office has its own podcast called Behind the Star. Huge numbers, way more than a mediocre time.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Hold on.
Well, it's got that
I
quote,
believe it.
and it's got that, and pun intended, star power.
That's right.
No, okay. Well, who's listening to the Behind the Star podcast?
Other cops. And,
We have a dedicated following, I'll say.
Oh my! Other cops don't want to listen to.
Yeah, there's nothing they like more when they get in their squad car. They fire up a little Behind the Star and get pumped up for the day.
It's like firefighters. They don't even want to see fire on their off days. It's like
when they go home, they set them in their backyard just practice.
Steve from Porky's, he orders Chinese for lunch because he's up to here with the barber. You know what I'm saying?
I've been.
Anyway, I'm just saying.
Okay, it's old people.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
I haven't looked at all of our demographics, but anyway, the latest episode, I chatted with the guys from the dive team. And so we have a dive team here at the sheriff's office, and their job is to go into bodies of water and search for either evidence or they go in to recover bodies. And so it's about 20 people on the dive team. And they got some crazy stories about some of the stuff that they find at the bottom of lakes and retention ponds.
It's my absolute most favorite department or offshoot of law enforcement, the dive team, because it's both. Is somebody calling me on Skype? Hold on. Let's see here. Oh no, it's reconnecting your network there, Buzz. I'm obsessed with it because in one aspect of it, it sounds terrifying, and the other aspect of it, I love diving, so I'm like, that sounds like the place for me.
Yeah, it's we talked about this on the show, Bustecker. I don't know if you heard us, but I was saying it's the most terrifying thing in the world to me, because I know, I've been scuba diving a lot. And I've been scuba diving in place with low visibility and stuff, something in West Palm after a storm. One time it was we really, 10 foot of visibility, but you get into some of these rivers and retention ponds and stuff, and there's almost zero visibility, or you don't even see what's in front of you unless it's 6 inches to a foot. Oh, we lost Bustecker, didn't we?
Yeah. He's sick of your crap.
He's over it, I think.
That's the longest. I don't even know where I was going with it.
Well, it was. It's a little bit of the old the Skype-a-rooney is farting out. I can pause it if you'd like.
I mean, he'll call us back, I'm sure.
I'll try him.
So
his phone might have died.
He needs to get us some connections so we could interview some the Orange County Sheriff dive team and all these guys that have specialties and stuff.
It's amazing to me
they have rappellers and people that are specialize in rock climbing.
I think
there's
they have
everybody
that can rappel out of helicopters in case you'd need somebody to.
For sure.
Be rescued.
Search and rescue. Yeah.
Those. One of the things that scares me the most when I'm watching videos are the older Meemaw or
Yes.
Grandpa that's
Has to be
caught
airlifted.
they're caught in the river.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you
Oh,
see the
yeah.
guy with the basket come down, and then he's down there, and he's like, it's super dangerous because he's got to deal with a river, he's got to deal with a
Yeah.
helicopter, and then he's also got to deal with a really scared human that could drag them under and
Yeah.
kill them.
Yeah.
You know, while they're trying to help. That is like those guys. I mean, straight up,
Yeah, yeah.
that is a real man job.
Could you imagine your adrenaline?
Oh
as-
my God, you're not going to believe why
Whatever.
we lost Bus Decker. Phone got hot in the minivan. I'll have to call
he
you back.
didn't.
His phone overheated
Oh
and
my
crashed
God.
out.
How
Does he not
hot
have
is it?
AC in the minivan?
Well, there's no tent on that, you know. I mean,
yeah,
it's
but
a
there should
white.
If he has air conditioning, he's fine.
It's a. I don't know. We didn't
Give
ask
this-
if he had air.
Give the video nerd the minivan with a broken AC. It'll heat his nerd phone up.
I'll
Okay, he's
trade the
calling
Grift
back.
truck for this minivan.
Okay, here he comes. Let's see if we got him. All right. There he is. Oh,
Hold on a second.
How hot is it in there? Oh my God.
you're sweating. You're wet.
Are you sitting in a hot
Hold on
ass
a sec. Hold
van?
on.
What, are you
Wait a
putting
minute.
a mask on
Do
your
you-
phone?
He has to tie his phone to the actual sun visor with a piece of string.
They can't give
What
you
kind of
a.
budget do they got
Oh
over there?
my God! I thought you were a videographer.
Yeah, they don't have a phone mount. My God.
He's tying it up there with a piece of cooking string for a turkey.
Not true. I'm sorry.
You just made Sam Calco laugh, and that's real hard to do.
You know,
All right, I'm back.
I just,
baby.
I think I just paid. Hold on. I just paid like $35 because we're technically Orange County small business towards something. Where are my taxpayer dollars going?
No,
Bus
down the
Decker
drain.
has to
I
use
went to
a
this
shoelace.
minivan.
Yeah.
Going towards my minivan. All right, I'm back.
Okay.
So
Sorry about that.
No worries. So we're
Anyway.
talking about like how scary it can
Yeah,
be
yeah.
to like. I mean, like.
dude, you see, like, especially if you're in there looking for a body, like,
Yeah.
and you see a dead body 6 inches from your face in like
Yeah.
a muck that's
And
insane.
it could be a mom. God forbid it's a kid.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
So-
Crazy.
So what the guys told me is that, a lot of times in most of the bodies of water here in Central Florida, you really can't see anything. It's
Yeah.
so murky that they don't even open their eyes. They just close their eyes and search with their hands. And so if you're looking for a gun at the bottom of a lake, they sort of go like a pattern. They do a grid and they search for it. And the same kind of goes when you're looking for a body, that you don't really know that it's right there until it's right on you or right in front of you.
Terrifying.
And then you can find it.
yeah.
That's exactly what me and my wife do when we want to make love. I just close my
Blindfold
eyes.
yourself.
Well, I blindfold myself,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I do what I like to call the Ronnie Millsap.
You're searching the
Well,
search and rescue.
he was a blind country music singer, and never mind. I didn't want to say Ray Charles. Thought that would be too disrespectful.
So, are these guys just wired differently than the rest of us? Because I don't know if you know this, Bus Decker, but I'm a expert scuba diver. I have.
Oh yeah. I knew that. I see you on the boat.
I have my advanced license that I got. No
Groupon. I always have to preface.
just because it's Groupon, I get the same license that another guy gets.
No, you're Patty, and I'm Nowie.
Yeah, they're both the same.
No, they're not.
Patty is
No.
actually above.
No, Patty is more like, hey, can we do Groupons? Oh, we can? Okay, let's do the Groupons. Mine, they're like, what, Groupon? Are you crazy? You could die down there. Patty's like, anything goes. Can I bring my kid? Yeah, we'll just slap a mask on him.
The last day was...
I have a feeling your scuba certification isn't good in the United States of America.
Yes, it is. It's good in here and the Bahamas.
It seems like something you would have got on the Tom and Dan cruise.
They actually, the last day of instruction, they skipped because it's like too wavy. They're like, too wavy. We're just going to pass you all. I'm like, yes.
But to be honest, it's the same thing they do for motorcycle instruction as well. Most instructions
too
with
wavy. We're going under the water.
The ocean.
Most licenses in America, besides the only one that's actually a valid license in Florida that matters is your driver's license. Everything else, whether it's scuba diving or whether it's marijuana, kind of not a big deal.
Yeah. So anyway, The point was that when I'm scuba diving, if I'm like a little bit deep or in a new place or whatever, my breathing, I'm sucking down a tank, and so your heart gets going and stuff. Like, so
you control your breath.
So I can't imagine being pitch black with your eyes closed and you're searching in some retention
and you don't know
pond.
what's in that water. I mean, there's gators all over Florida.
Oh, for sure. And
they might even find like evidence that they weren't even looking for.
Right.
Yeah, and then to keep your heartbeat low, how do you do that?
You got to train.
Or are they?
Well, I have to do it artificially. But
sedation.
Yeah, I mean, see last comment. But other people, I guess just from being a master diver.
So I wonder if a lot of these guys, I'm sure they don't do it for the money. It can't be like you're getting an insane bonus for being a rescue diver. They're probably like avid scuba divers that are like
it's a passion.
Okay, yeah,
like David, the guy.
Part of it is their assignment, and so this is the job that they put in to want to do. And so instead of maybe being a patrol deputy or something else here at the sheriff's office, this is what they do most of the day. Whether they're in the water or not all day long, it's usually not the case, but that's their assignment. So that's what they like to do that. And so they're sent out to do those things.
So Bus Decker, I'm a little surprised, and I'm not at all making a joke. I like to preface that, like when I'm asking a serious question. I'm a little surprised that did you strap on any gear, or did you have any want to like at least feel what it's like? Have you ever been scuba diving? Do you know what it's like?
I've never been scuba diving. I would go out with them. For this was a podcast, so we just talked to each other. I told them, like, next time you get a call and you want, give me a call and I'll join you guys. I mean, I'm probably not going to put on all the gear, but at least I'll go out there and see what happens, because it's not just, I mean, like I said, it's evidence, sometimes it's bodies, and you're right, sometimes it is children who wander away from home and then they find them in bodies of water, but also it's submerged vehicles. So sometimes people drive their car either on purpose or accidentally into a lake, and they have to go get the car, and usually those people escape somehow, and they're really just going to get the car, so they have to get the car out of the bottom of the lake.
And a lot of people don't know this, but they dive in and they go down to the car. They're obviously going to survey for survivors. Then they open the door, take their flippers off, get in, start it up, and they drive it out. Just like the old joke, if I find my keys, we'll drive this out.
That's the rule. That's the law.
That was my dad's. That was one of my dad's.
I got this minivan.
Yeah, if we find the keys to your minivan, we'll drive it out. My dad's favorite joke. What a horrible joke, too. A horrible joke.
You see how loud and...
I'm just trying to make you smile today. Hey, Bus, in all seriousness, I think you'd be a good diver because you're a pretty chill dude.
Bus, I'll teach you.
You should get certified, and actually, you don't have to go way down. I mean, like 25 feet is nothing.
Bus,
I think you'd like it, man.
Listen, I got the equipment in my garage.
I'll bet it's all up to code and up to date.
It's fine.
It is. Gross garage.
I grifted it good. It's a little dusty. But
just blow the drywall dust off.
You could use my wife's. I mean, you'll have to be fine with the pink regulator and stuff.
I drive a minivan. I have no shame.
And
that's what those things on OnlyFans are called, the pink regulator.
I got my own tanks and everything, weights. I'll load you up.
He's not nitrox certified.
Wait. That's fine. I'll get nitrox. It's the same as oxygen. Just don't go too deep. You'll start freaking out. I know just enough to keep us alive.
Yeah.
This drives scuba divers crazy. By the way,
I know.
This is the only hate mail I get.
Did you see I reached over to my email and I just put forward on? I just put the I'm away. Because every time he does this, Bus, then I get all the emails from the scuba divers that tell me that Tom's killing people.
We'll go over to the retention pond right off I-4.
You do it out here in Lake Baldwin.
Oh, yeah, Lake Baldwin.
Actually, I wanted to tell you, I was in Baldwin Park yesterday. I did a ride-along with Sector 2 last night from about 2 in the afternoon to midnight. And I was over near Baldwin Park.
What kind of crimes are going on
Sector
around
2,
here?
let me see your prawn arm.
I'll be honest. It's not a great thing. There was a man who overdosed and died in the woods by Baldwin Park, and we had to go there and they were trying to revive him, but they weren't successful,
Oh,
and so
no.
we had to be there to secure the scene.
Oh,
Is there
that's terrible.
a fence divide in those woods? Because
There needs to be.
Baldwin Park, they don't like that.
No, they're going to bury that news.
Yeah.
No, we were right there, but yeah, I wanted to do a ride along. I've been here at the sheriff's office for about a year and a half, and I've just been busy, and so yesterday I finally got a chance to go out with one of our patrol deputies and just kind of get a feel of what it's like on the road. And we went to all kinds of calls, and the first call was a guy who thought his neighbor was a hoarder, and so we had to go check on her, and she was fine. And then we had to
just a
go to
wellness check?
Was she a
domestic-
hoarder?
What?
Is it just a
Well,
wellness check?
no, she just. We actually never ended up making contact with her, but
It's not
she
legal
had
to be a
family
hoarder.
that lived there, and it sounded like she just had a lot of stuff. She wasn't somebody that had, animals living in her house or anything like that.
I noticed
But
and for the
they're
listeners,
going to go back and check up on her, but it wasn't exactly a hoarder
I
case.
noted
It was just a neighbor who was concerned.
I don't
noticed,
understand. Why call the cops for that?
Well, for the listeners that can't see you on Twitch, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, or you can find the replays always on YouTube, search Tom and Dan Live, that your entire minivan in the back of it is filled with Beanie Babies. and I was very kind of you, very chivalrous for you to take some of those off of her hands.
That's my future retirement, Beanie Babies. Get that Princess Di one. We can
Oh.
make millions.
I got 3 of them, buddy, and I'm sitting on the original. I got the original Snort the Bull. Look that up. Look up Snort the Bull.
Can you ever get us on a ride along? Because me and Dan don't want to bring our mobile equipment and go on a ride along
and sit in the back and just goof off.
Yeah.
I don't. So somebody asked that if they could do one, and we're not really doing them right now because of coronavirus, and then also because of sort of the current climate of the world. I don't know if we're going to do ride-alongs in the future too often, but I'm hoping to do more so you can kind of live vicariously through me. But after we got done with the hoarder one, the next call was a guy who slashed another guy in the face with a knife.
Whoa,
at
boss!
a Wendy's.
Wendy's.
And we went over there. Turns out the guy got on a bus. We had to stop a Lynx bus and try to get some footage from it. Ended up, it was a fight between 2 people, and everybody was, there was non-life-threatening injuries, but these are the types of calls that deputies have to deal with all day long, every day.
You caught the Wendy slasher?
He's not going with a Wendy slasher.
Oh.
He's going with a Biggie slasher.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Bussecker, I want to do a ride along in your minivan,
Yeah.
and I want
Okay.
to fight crime.
Yeah.
Me, you, Daniel.
Why do I
Well,
gotta
mine
go?
gets cut out
I
on
don't want to
this.
go.
I'll go, yeah.
I don't want to ride around some SE minivan.
I'll get some weapons together.
What are you going to get? Casey Jones, a bat with some nails in it, a hockey stick?
Yeah. It's that Ninja Turtle thing.
Yeah, Ninja Turtle weapons.
Yeah.
What do we got, Casey Jones? Oh, we got a baseball bat with nails in it. We got a golf club. We got a broken hockey stick. I got a kendo stick. Pool cue.
By the way, that stupid hockey stick is going to do nothing. Hey, you look like Dude Perfect. Bussecker, what's the last video you put together that's done well on the internet?
I'll tell you the one I'm working on right now. I'm actually working on one that I know is going to do well when I post it. I did a video highlighting our sketch artist here at the sheriff's office. And so, if a crime happens and there's a witness and maybe the suspect is on the loose, we try to put sketches out of the person. But the process of how that works, I had no idea how it worked. And so basically, you sit with our sketch artist and you go through books of faces and noses and eyes and lips and mustaches and hair. And you kind of pick out what you remember from the person that you saw. And from all that, they craft a sketch. And so I have this video where I worked with our sketch artist, and he didn't know who it was. And it's a well-known person. I can't say who it is yet because I haven't put the video out.
Nice.
But from memory, I tried to describe the person, and he tried to draw it. And we're going to see how close he gets to it.
Oh, that's cool. Here's a fun fact. My nose, 2 volumes.
And I have seen some of these guys, like, they show, like, hey, here's the sketch and here's the actual guy, and it's crazy close. And then you get, like...
And then you get, like, y'all always see leprechauns. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Then you get those.
And then you get the leprechaun sketch, which is the single greatest sketch in the history of police sketches. Even though I don't think a police officer did it. I think maybe a citizen did.
Well, it's harder. It's harder than you think because you're trying to use your memory of did that person have long hair? Did they have? I mean, not hair.
Eyewitness statements
is their nose
terrible.
this wide or is it narrow? Are their eyes this close or are they far apart?
And it depends.
So it's
how
a lot
long
more
you saw the
challenging than you
person.
think.
Yeah, I think it's really, really hard. I mean, that's another one of those jobs, kind of like the diver deal, where it's fascinating. That they can do that.
And he's the guy that I talked to. His name's Timothy Horn. He's been an artist all his life, and he's a deputy. I mean, he's a regular deputy that's worked here for years and years and years. He just happens to have a talent for art, and he actually did a really neat thing a few months ago. We had a pretty gruesome case and about a woman who was I won't get into the details, but she was tortured and killed, and she had developmental disabilities, and her family did it. And we really didn't have any good photos of her because nobody really cared for this woman during her life, or during the end of her life.
Yeah.
And so we had one kind of blurry photo, and so he took that photo and turned it into a sketch. And so when we did a press conference, a news conference to talk about this case, because we arrested the family, we could at least put some photo out of this woman who was killed. And so it was kind of a special thing that he did.
Yeah, it's also, too, to take somebody who maybe has been neglected or who, quote, doesn't matter, and then actually use your artistic talent to create a photograph that gives her a tangible identity. That nobody else gave a damn enough to do.
Man, this is a sad
I'd love to talk to that guy. That's fantastic.
About that whole story.
That's awesome.
I mean, like I said, it was some pretty gruesome details, and even our homicide detectives who see this stuff every single day.
Sure.
During the news conference, they were choked up about it. But Timothy Horn, who did the sketch of her, I gave him this photo, and like I said, it was a really old, blurry photo, and he did the best he could. But even in the photo, her eyes were closed because she really wasn't looking at the camera, but he wanted to capture at least her eyes. And so in the sketch that he made, he drew her eyes open and kind of smiling a little bit. But in order to get her eyes correct, he actually found the forensic photos of her decomposed body and was looking at her eyes. He was covering the rest of her face, but he was looking at her eyes so he could get the correct eyes on her. So when we put it out to the media, it would at least look like what she looked like when she was alive.
How long
and so,
ago
to
did
me,
this
that's
happen?
the level of care that people do.
That's amazing. What a cool, I mean, all aforementioned, yes, it is grim, but that's a cool story of a person who cared enough to give her that. In her end, gave her something that no one else was ever able to give her. Amazing.
Did that happen recently?
It happened about 6 months ago.
Never heard about that.
Wow.
It was her body was left near Valencia College East Campus.
Right.
And she was found, and then they tracked it back to some relatives. Apparently she had a grandmother who really cared for her, but her grandmother died, and when this other member of her family took custody of her, they really didn't care for her, and they didn't treat her very well. And when she died, and they dumped her body there, but they tracked them back to where they were living, and they arrested all three of them.
Bustecker, is this job going to kill your happy-go-lucky soul?
No, look at him.
That's a good question.
No, because I mean, I know these things happen in the world. I guess what it does to me is shows that people actually care and they want to, catch these people that do these horrific things. I mean, I watch the news. I see some of the things that people say about police and law enforcement, and there's some things that I'm sure police officers across the country could do better. But there's also a lot of really good things that happen, and people work on cases for years and years and years, especially some of these people in our homicide and in our sex crimes unit. I mean, their job every day is to catch people that are trying to do terrible things to little kids. And so, like, that's their focus. And, like, I couldn't do that. I mean, I couldn't look at that stuff online all day and be like, all right, we need to go get that guy. But these people do it because they care enough, because they want to get those people off the streets.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just heavy to have to even hear about it. Like, to me, I'm too soft to be able to hear the stuff, the reality of everything, and then just process that. So just takes a tougher human.
Yeah, that one is it definitely, and like also the ability to take something that could be a positive, is going to be a positive, but then look at, like, the eyeball thing is killing me, man. Like, that's insane.
I'll tell you, I didn't know he was doing that. I asked Timothy Horn to do this favor for us, and he did it really quick, which was awesome. But when I went down to see him kind of working on it, to check on it, I just assumed he would just sort of recreate this photo that I gave him. But yeah, he sort of went that extra mile. And when I went down there to just kind of see how things were going, he had this photo, this forensic photo, lying on the table. And I took like one glance at it, and she had been outside for several days in Florida. So, I mean, you can imagine what some of that looked like. And I took like one look, and I was just like trying not to look at it again, because your eyes kind of go, you want to look at those things, but then you got to look away. But yeah, to want to do that, it was just incredible.
Well, Bus Ecker, it was good talking to you.
Yeah, man, we missed the heck out of you, brother. How's your...
Yeah, I want to say I was out with those deputies last night, and one of them, after we finished up a call, he was like, hey, you're the guy from Tom and Dan. I listen to those guys all the time. I love those guys. So you got fans in the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
Oh, I will give them some love for me.
I will.
I don't know. Do we know anybody in Seminole County?
Yeah.
We got them all. We're in every county. I think. We know any in St. Johns County, because I'm heading that direction. Just don't want to get popped.
It's like Fight Club.
Yeah. I like to have my wife stand out of the sunroof with her top off as I'm driving through St. Johns County.
Well, Bus Ecker, we'll talk to you soon, dude. Let's make this. I've been in this monthly segment kick. By the way, I started this Avalanche, and now it's gotten too far.
It's too much, because I'm having to it's like encroaching in what I'm doing, and I'm like, who are you?
I'm gonna drive Samantha crazy.
Yeah.
But
well, you've been driving me crazy for 15 years.
No, my wife, everybody. But we'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right, if you want me to pick you up in the minivan, just give me a shout.
Okay, I like that. We'll wear masks. We're smart.
All right.
All right, brother. Be good.
Bye,
I'll see you guys.
See you, man. That is our good friend John Bustecker, and he is live from his brand new minibus. The old minibus.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time. Welcome to a Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Our producer Samantha is here. Hello, Sam.
Hi.
How are things for you today?
Doing good.
You probably noticed I said tings. It's because I'm channeling island vibes. I'm going to the beach. This weekend. I'm gonna journey to St. Augustine. It's not something I normally do, but I'm not really going to do much other than stay inside my mom's little spot, but should be fun.
Well, this is perfect, because if you're maybe heading to the beach, or like Daniel going to St. Augustine, you need to know if the weather's going to be good.
I do indeed.
And to tell us about the weather and what's going on is, I think we're both proud to say, our official weatherman.
I'm super
Tom
stoked
and Dan,
about that, yeah.
And he made the trek from Tampa over to be in the studio live today, which is a treat, and we appreciate that. And we have Mike from Mike's Weather Page here. How you doing, Mike?
Great. I'm very impressed with your studio here. I'm a little embarrassed about mine. I got a little work to do.
No. This is a lot of debt.
I don't like that.
Yeah, then you're doing just fine. You can have all of this.
We rent this out from the other Tom and Dan. They're way better. They're rich. We pay $100 a month.
We do.
They let us record while they're sleeping.
Exactly.
But thanks, dude. Thanks for coming by, man.
Appreciate you coming in.
So I have been watching your Facebook feeds, and you can see them on Mike's Facebook page, Mike's Weather Page on Facebook. And by the way, this segment brought to you by ABC Fine Wine and Spirits.
Kapow!
We love them.
Yeah,
we do indeed.
Sponsor of Mike as well. And
be stopping by there later today.
Yep. I had an X-ray of my liver one time, and you can almost make out ABC
right on there, stamped.
Yeah.
Grade A.
And
BC.
And if you go to ABC, please use promo code or the hashtag TDABC, and that helps us give us credit for you guys using ABC. And then we give away a prize every single week to a random person.
We
that
do
uses
indeed.
that hashtag.
Probably the easiest contest you can enter because you're going to buy something there anyway. So you might as well snap a photo.
Yep. So thanks so much to ABC. So, Mike, I noticed you've been talking about some disturbances in the tropics as of late.
Right.
And is it starting? Is it starting to happen?
It's here, and I think it's going to be here until October.
Okay.
We are officially, tropics have flipped a switch. It's crazy how that happens. And we have a disturbance off the coast of Florida right now that's making its way to Texas. And then we also have Gonzalo that they just named heading toward the Eastern Caribbean.
Yeah.
And it's already, NHC always starts out pretty conservative. Now their latest advisory has it going to be a hurricane. And honestly, I don't want to hype anything, but the way the steering patterns are, we really got to watch this one because it's got a good seed, they call it. It's got a lot of spin in the circulation. So these little guys can fight their way through the Caribbean and then be something to worry about down the road. So there are the steering currents are showing a slight turn northward towards our general area later part of next week.
So let's talk about that. Two things you've mentioned. I look at this like an education for us and our listeners to understand weather more. And we talk about this.
Well, our show, we traditionally don't understand much of anything.
No.
So to have somebody who understands at least something in here, I think is a win.
So we're all familiar with watching storms. If we live, if anybody listening to this lives in Florida, and when we say good seed, is that just the rotation, the tight rotation of the storm?
Yes. Well, like the system that's off the coast of Florida right now never really had a good low pressure spin.
Okay.
So when you get these systems that come off of Africa and they already have this spin, they call them the Cape Verde seeds, and they're hard to disrupt. So there's a lot of chatter that this system's going to die out past the Lesser Antilles Islands, but now the NHC's up and that cone's getting a little closer and closer to us. And the way that the tropics have behaved this year with the water being hot. So I just say keep your eye on it. Originally last time you asked me what model's the best.
Yeah.
The European model completely sucked the big one on this one. It had zero formation of Gonzalo, Zippo. And now they're showing hurricane nearing the Lesser Antilles in a couple days. So that's it. That's why you got to look at all the models. There's a Canadian model that predicted this one, and I always make sure to show it because I'm like, hey, the Canadian model, it's been pretty good, and it's the only one that showed this. So I got one eye on it, and to be honest, there's another wave behind it that's got me more intrigued. It's coming off Africa right now that has more signs that we could be dealing with another type system after this one. So we're in that pattern of that. They call it the African wave train, where there's just little storms that spit off of Africa, and we just have to watch each and every one of them. But the big Bermuda High right now in the Atlantic is pushing everything around into the Caribbean, and that's just the pattern we got to watch and hit.
Tom, do you know my favorite Canadian model?
What is that?
Pam Anderson.
Tool the Tim Taylor
discovered at a hockey game. I believe, or football game, Canadian football game.
I thought you were going to go with the African wave train porno joke, but
no, too early for that.
I haven't heard that one.
I'll ease into that, Mike.
So what kind of consistency are these waves coming off of, like Southern Africa? As far as are we talking once a week? Well, how often do we see the waves?
It's probably every 3-4 days.
Really?
Yep.
And each one could be a potential storm.
Right. And there's a lot of factors like we talked about the dust last time. Well, this wave that's coming behind Gonzalo has a lot less dust to deal with. The reason this little system we got right now to watch is it's a little tiny system. They can either ramp up really, really fast or they can ramp apart just as fast. So the NHC comments it's very hard to predict these little spinners. And as they've seen today, it's already up to 45 mile an hour, and it's supposed to be a hurricane in a couple of days.
So, Mike, I'm curious, like from doing this for so long and having the following that you do a lot of storm chasers reach out to you, and have you gotten to know any of them? Do they I'm sure they follow you if they're into the storm chasing because you're a great resource. But does that happen, or you've got to know any of these guys?
Yeah, I met a guy last year, Brandon Clement. He's WX Chasing. I think the Facebook, they do a lot of tornado chases. And I met him in the worst kind of way. I shared a video of his, and it's a not for broadcast video. Got in a little trouble. All his fans deal with this type of piracy, people sharing other people's videos, and now we were really good friends and we actually communicate back and forth, so it turned out to be fine. But it was during Dorian. He flew a helicopter down there and got firsthand footage of the destruction, so obviously he paid all that money and he's selling it to CNN and Fox, so he's got these little Tom, Dick, and Harry places, and taking that footage and sharing it, where I was just trying to show it.
Yeah, you just know. You're just like, here's what it is.
Yeah, I was like, here, so got a little heated up, and since then we've become really good friends, and we joke back and forth, like, where are you going? We're going to go Texas, Louisiana, line. So we respect each other.
What are the rules with that? Like, because to me, it's like once the video gets out on the internet, regardless, like say like CNN shares it, or the Weather Channel,
like the Wild Wild West.
Well, it seems to me like everyone just grabs that and just use it for their own broadcast, but that's technically
it's a no. I copied it and reshared it, and the reason I do that is when you share a video, their comments are on their site, and I always like to control. I like to post under the Mike's Blair page. That way, it's my people, not whoever else is seeing it on that side. I had my own reasons doing it, but I learned that you just can't copy photos are a big thing too. There's a lot of people going after on Twitter for photos and copyright.
Yeah. That started back when we used to work for radio. Like they started attacking the big
it's
media
still a
conglomerates.
thing now. That's why you'll notice that I try to secretly slide in credit given on most
they do.
things.
Yeah, a lot of meteorologists will do that. As long as there's a
credit,
there's an ethical,
and most of the time that's all that people really want is just a tip of the hat to say that it's their stuff.
Mike, I'm curious. So, are we looking? Is September the most active month for hurricanes, or is it July? We're
supposed to be in a lull right now. Typically, the end of July is very, very, very slow, and really the first part of August is usually very slow. We really don't get ramped up until into August, September, October. So the way everything's going this year, 2020, everything else. Last night I posted a picture that was phenomenal. It seemed like every storm in North America had lightning. Like all of a sudden, all this convection just popped. And that's kind of what we're seeing in the tropics. And there is a cycle we talked about one time, I think, called the MJO. It's like a cycle of energy that circles the Earth, and it enhances thunderstorm activity or suppresses thunderstorm activity. Well, we're in a positive state of that MJO, and that enhances tropical activity, storms, convection. That's why, driving over here today, there's storms popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, the atmosphere just gets energetic, and all these storms have a natural lifting, which creates storms, and that's kind of what the tropics are going to be in this pattern now.
It's fast too.
It just poof.
Yeah, well, it happened over here. Actually, that's the reason my wife and I got into an argument is because she was like, it all of a sudden it was just like,
the atmosphere gets juicy. I mean, it just juices up. It's the craziest thing.
That's a great way to explain it, though. That makes sense. It's really active up there, and sometimes those things can, I guess, get a little more. What do you call that? Organized, right?
Yeah, right. And we saw them on the way over here, these little popcorn storms. So the storms in the Gulf the last couple of weeks have really blown up, and I've joked about it all year, called it blobs and squalls, but the Gulf's been producing massive blow-ups.
I'm blobs.
Blobs? Well, I even made a shirt.
You're squalls.
We got a shirt, blobs and squalls.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so the tropics, definitely, unfortunately, all the predictions are a higher season, and then we're already starting to see it. So the next couple of weeks, we're going to be watching these waves.
How's my weather going to be for the beach this weekend?
Well, probably good, because this tropical energy going to Texas, we'll have a little lull.
I'm very selfish. I want to know about my weekend.
That's what everybody wants.
Everybody's selfish.
That dovetails into what I wanted to ask you. Do you ever get a little, maybe a misplaced, almost like weather guilt from people thinking that because you are dabbling in the knowledge that in some weird, strange way you can control things,
Well, yeah, there's a lot of personal. I mean, I'll get the question like. And now I have fans that joke about it. Here comes that comment. Hey, what's the weather going to be like at 1448 Hummingbird Lane, Orlando? Because that's what everybody wants to know.
Sure.
It's impossible to. And living in Florida, like I tell everybody, any time, any place, anywhere, you can get a storm. Yeah. It's just I look at like we're in a really wet, juicy couple days here, so these storms are popping up like everywhere,
and they're fast.
Like yesterday, it was sunny at our house, and within 30 minutes, we had severe thunderstorm warning. So the skies are juicy. There's maps on my site. There's a precipitable water map that shows you that kind of stuff. And we're just in that pattern. So I think we got a couple weeks to really watch these tropics come across Africa and Florida, and keep a keen eye on it because they can flip in a heartbeat.
Mike, I got a question about models. So I don't know much about weather models. I do know a lot about gambling models, but I'm sure it translates in some sense. Okay, so in the gambling world, people create these models to try to predict games and stuff. And the more information they have and input into the models, they hope that it's more accurate.
Right.
So and then after every season, they put in the season's information in the models, and then it helps them more accurately predict the next season, blah, blah, blah. So with these weather models and like hurricane tracking models, every single storm, is that allow for more input of information into the model, which then makes it more accurate? Or are they basically all set and very little change? Like, how does that work? Like, because like the European model was so off in this last storm. Do they go back and be like, all right, what was broken? Why were we so off in this? And then like re-input any information that helps it be more accurate?
Yep. Every year there's an update. Every one of these models, GFS, Canadian, like I mentioned, they go through updates sometimes 2, 3, 4 times a year.
Okay.
And it's all math, logarithms, input data, like you said. They look at past tracks. These models look at so many factors. They're like little brains, and if you might hear the word ensembles. So the European model has 51 ensembles. So you have the main Euro run that you see on TV, but there's also 51 other versions of that Euro that has a different thinking. And so it's like this guy says, oh, maybe the high pressure is a little stronger. This guy says, oh, maybe the water temp's a little hotter. This one, so they all put all the different input variables, and you get all these ensembles. So I show the ensembles because once you get a good consensus, like everybody in this room starts thinking alike, confidence goes up.
Correct.
Okay.
And so then at the end of the season, like you said, they'll input new data, satellite data is always getting better, ocean temperature. So yeah, they're always getting fed with fresh stuff.
And let me ask you this too, with the days out on the model, like obviously all models have, estimated storm where the location will be day 1, 2, and we've all seen the cone.
We've seen those, sure.
We all know. And it seems like obviously the farther out, the more inaccurate it gets, but like, does it start exponentially becoming more inaccurate? Like once you hit day 2, where like day 4 and 5 might as well not even be on there because it's so inaccurate, it's insane.
Totally, yeah. Well, they really stress. They have a 3-day cone and a 5-day cone. And these forecast models will go out 10 days, 15 days. And of course, most meteorologists steer away from 10-day maps. They're like, but I believe in them because you look for patterns and you look for consistency. You just can't jump on one or the other. You'll see windshield wiper effects. You'll hear guys talk about flip-flopping back and forth. But
the wobble, right?
Yeah, they wobble. You'll see, because upper steering patterns change. That's the biggest thing that drives is the middle atmosphere, high pressures, low pressures. So those are the things that models have a hard time predicting that far out. And that's why we see a lot of these storms. That's why the cones, like you said, 5-day cone is wide. But over the years, the NHC cone has shrunk a little bit, a little tighter, as their confidence in history gets a little better. So it's hard to pinpoint an exact location more than 3-4 days out. I mean, heck, 1 day out. That's why the cone is wide, and they stress that the center of the storm can go anywhere in that cone. And
does, yeah.
It does.
We've seen it, yeah.
I mean, so just because, you don't focus on that center line, and you'll have a lot more effects to the east and the north of the system than you will the west side. So like parts of Panama City with Michael had almost zero damage, and the other half of the city is totally destruction because of the strong winds go to the east and the north.
So okay, I want some advice about how to interpret the information that, like, not only you give out, and again, spaghettimodels.com is the website that everybody should go to and follow Mike's weather page, but
should be on a post-it note somewhere in your junk drawer.
Yeah.
So when you're like, where's my flashlight? You know exactly where to go to find out what the hell's happening.
And you can't spell spaghetti after going to ABC Fine Wine and Spirits.
That's true.
That's why you go to Mike's weather page and it comes up too.
We'll do it in preparation of going to ABC.
Is it 2 G's, 2 H's, 2 T's? I don't know.
Yeah, get your supplies at ABC first. So I'm wondering if everybody's like this, and I'll explain to like normal hurricane season. This is what I do. So a hurricane or a potential disturbance or something, a tropical storm pops up, right? And then just like you said, you're tracking it, and then all of a sudden through the cone, it looks like it may be headed towards Florida, right?
Right.
So I almost, in my mind, dismiss it until the end of the cone can anywhere touches Florida, and then I start looking at it every day.
Well,
right?
it's like, if you're in the center of the cone 5, 6, 7, 8 days out, you more than likely you're not going to get it. Like you're saying, and like my dad always said, if we're planning for the weekend on Monday and it shows rain, good thing, because it's probably not going to rain.
Okay,
right.
So you've actually seen that?
But I think what people love about spaghetti models is you always have that one line that like keeps you hoping or on the edge of the seat. If some people want them, some people don't. But you just start to get a gut feeling. Like I'm looking at this storm Gonzalo, and I'm starting to see upper steering patterns open up a door early next week that, if it were to stick together, hey, this thing can come up a little bit. Now exact location, forget about it, but it's not going to Texas. That's where you start to see. Hey, keep your eye open, and that's what people like. People like the what if.
Yeah.
And
well, speaking of that, and everybody's always seen, and when you're at Spaghetti Models or whatever, where there'll be one rando model that's always completely opposite of all the rest. It's like, what is this pink one going?
I identify with that one the most because while you guys are like, I'm watching Ozark, I'm watching Ozark, I'm watching Ozark, I'm watching Ozark. I'm
Me too.
QVC.
Yeah.
QVC. I watch In the Kitchen with David. Here I go, all the way to the right.
So, and then, of course, all the models will be going one, and then the rando pink one, and then everybody on social media will always bring up, well, this pink one's not, but should we just dismiss?
Oh, yeah. You
dismiss the outlier.
They just call
no, don't dismiss me. I'm great.
Because the outlier, have you ever seen the one crazy outlier be right in all the years?
Well, I mean,
this?
Irma was a fine example,
Yes.
and I show the daily progression of spaghetti models and how at one time they were clustered way to the east side of Florida, and then a couple days later they actually went to the west side of Florida. Well, then they went back to the east side of the Florida, and that's when they started evacuating everybody. But you always had to keep in the back of your mind, they did that windshield wiper effect, because it was trying to predict this high pressure system, and they always tend to go back to where they once were, so you get this, and then ultimately went back to the west. Everybody was jumping on that East Coast shift. They evacuated the whole East Coast Florida, and they didn't anything.
Right.
So same thing with Charlie.
Yeah.
I mean, Charlie came through into 2004, supposed to hit Tampa, hit Cape, Punta Gorda. Everybody evacuated Orlando, and that's where it hit.
Right. Well, that's why I like following Mike, too, because he'll just tell you what he's thinking unencumbered by, let's say, their producer yelling at them, don't disregard this because it logically is probably going to wobble back, because what if someone's listening to you and they don't evacuate and it does, because there's the extra amount of caution, and what you're providing is just this is how I see it.
And here's
this is what I predict.
ton of information.
Yeah. I don't have anybody like a producer yelling hey, don't, and also it's not good for business because you want I know this is taboo, but you want to keep them scared.
Well,
Don't
that's
keep
what
them
I was going to
watching.
bring up is that I believe that Mike is more entertaining than your average weather person, but without attempting to make you stay with him. Look, take it or leave it, but you're going to enjoy his bedside manner, how he presents his facts, but he's not there to try and scare you into watching him all day. That's pretty accurate, right?
And even beyond that, not there to, just in case, it's better safe than sorry, that a lot of people are well...
A little bit more realistic attitude towards it.
I'm sure even the weatherman on TV probably knows that, hey, now it's wobbled this way, and we're in the cone again, you may have to evacuate. But I want to say it probably will wobble back, but I can't because I could be maybe irresponsible if people don't evacuate and I'm wrong because there's always that chance, right?
Well, yeah, they get in trouble if it's 30% chance of rain and your beach plans at St. Augustine are ruined. Your first thing you do is going to go online to Eric Burris and say, "You son of a bitch!"
And he's a very nice man.
I like him.
Yeah, of course.
I watch him.
Yeah, but you're going to be influenced by that for sure.
My wife used to work with him. So
really?
She used to work at Wesh.
Okay, I watched his morning coffee chat. He does
Amy Sweezy's a really good friend of ours. We know a lot of these weather people. Jim Van Fleet when he was doing it.
Yeah, he's a fan of. He got us. We were on a Royal Caribbean cruise and he knew it because I posted. He got us up to the captain's.
Nice.
And my daughter's got to sit in a chair and hit.
That's cool.
Hit the horn.
Get the drive by.
He's got 2 tats of the hurricane flags on his arm.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
He's still in his country band.
He's the head meteorologist for Royal Caribbean.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
He's the only one at first, which was amazing because a lot of these ships would come out.
That blew my mind when they were like, "It's in the first ever." I'm like, "I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
How long have you guys been navigating the seas without a designated weather person?"
How many ships came out of New York there for a few years, right? In the big storms, and people are 50-foot seas, all by the almighty dollar.
The piano sliding. You see these.
Well, that's because I just wanted to buzz by that island and wave to my girlfriend. Too soon? A little too soon.
Yeah, that's one of them really weak drinks they make. You feel buzzed because you're seasick. You're like, these are good drinks.
I have to point something out. We're live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. Find the replay on YouTube. Just search Tom and Dan Live. I'm going to if you'll look at the screen real quick, I'm going to go to Tom real fast. You can take a peek at Tom. And I'm going to jump down and you can take a peek at our fine weather person, Mike, here. And notice that they have the same headphone off the ear. They also have... They're also both sponsored by ABC. They're both obsessed with models. This is all from Juan in the Twitch chat room. I think we might be reconnecting a father-son pairing here. It's never been done before. There is an odd amount of like-mindedness here.
Well, there may be some cosmic connection. Like I never told Mike that my dad passed away in Hurricane Andrew.
Oh Lord!
Tried to save his boat and.
Yeah. No.
Write that down. No, we're dead serious. We're just weird enough to be able to talk openly about it and without crying. And
he was basically trying to save a boat that he was building to become a commercial fisherman. And I got a tattoo about it. But my step grandfather and his best friend took the boat out to Biscayne Bay to try to ride out Hurricane Andrew because they knew if they left it was uninsured because they just finished building it, and then they couldn't get insurance on it because the damn hurricane was out there. No insurance company is going to insure anything.
Gotta take it out.
And so they took it out to try to save it. Of course, it was way worse than they thought. Than my step grandfather and my dad. Right? His friend ended up surviving on the boat because they saved the boat. It washed up on Elliott Key. Crazy. Anyway, so maybe that's why I feel a connection with Mike.
There is a weird. I'm just really comfortable with you. We already knew who you were. I'm just damn proud to have you in here as our weather guy.
This is how dumb I am, Mike. I'm not afraid of hurricanes at all. Like
he takes his boat out in hurricanes now, and I go, bro, you're my business partner, and even more than that, you're my friend. Just based on your family's luck,
my feeling towards hurricanes.
Just stay away from the water during hurricanes. It's proven.
Pure logical about it.
Took his wife and their dog through a hurricane from St. Augustine. Taking the run in a ski boat.
The last, every time I see like a Category 5 monster, I know how bad it could be. But the ones and stuff, I'm just like, it's fine. It's like.
Well, Andrew was nothing. I think we talked about this last time, but 3 days away, it was only a tropical storm.
Right. Yeah.
So that back then, what was it, 92?
Yes.
Technology and forecasting was nothing like it is today. Yeah. So I'm wondering back then if they had any of this inkling, it could have been as strong as it was.
And by the way, back then too, you didn't have the advantage of being able to track it on your phone every minute that you want. It was just like, let's turn on the 5 o'clock news. Let's see where. Oh my God, it's close. It's been 24 hours. It moved a lot. Yeah. Like now we're tracking. It's like, didn't move. It's been 5 minutes.
I think I TiVo'd the forecast.
Yeah. If you want it now, man, and that's my niche is. People have to wait till the 5 o'clock news, And now with the internet, you can get it any time, any minute. you can have access to your fingertips, and that's what people love.
What's your relationships towards hurricanes, Mike? When we go through, when you have to ride one out and stuff, how? And no, this brings me to another question.
Yeah, he rides it a little different than we do, right? Like at some point, I want to not plug in. You know what I mean? Like you've heard enough. At some point, I pull out. I think you want to go.
I went in, Irma. I didn't even think about evacuating. And we were in evacuation zone. I stayed. And my daughter's out there on the bay, when all the water got sucked out. We're out there taking pictures, and the cops are like, you got to go back to your houses. And we're out there taking selfies, and I mean, we're running toward it. And I'm out there in the middle of the street filming. And
you guys do the same thing?
You're
the same person.
Why do you scream at the cop? You're like, I'm GD Mike from Mike's Weather Page.
You know who I am.
Well, the neighbor across the street.
I'm like Raiden in a lightning storm.
Well, he's a Coast Guard captain, and he was sitting out there, and they were like, they told me the story. They looked out there at 1 a.m. There I am, like with the headlights on because I wanted good lighting.
Yeah.
They're like, what's this?
Yeah,
guy doing out there, and I was streaming to everybody, and so I don't.
That sounds like you.
But you're probably logical in the fact that you know exactly when to be worried and when not to be. So it's like when you have your category 1s and you're like you still have something to be prepared for. You shouldn't be out, but you're like okay, it's not gonna. Then you got your your 5s. You're like man, this is gonna be a freight train real bad. Like you're not going out and messing around with a 5 coming through.
Let me ask you this: what is the absolute scariest storm, but I mean the one that like when you're getting all your information. I kind of look at this like a puzzle, and you're putting this puzzle together in your brain of all the little things that you're saying. Yeah, what is the one that you've looked at and then instantly like it chilled your bones?
It was Michael.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been tracking since 2004, but Michael, it was only supposed to be a tropical storm hitting the Panhandle, and I kept seeing these models, and I even said it on my live a couple times, and people have quoted me, so that's where it scares me. You guys asked me before. It scares me because people cling to every word that I say. And I guess I made a comment, if I lived up that way, I'd get the hell out of town. And because all these models were showing 920, 930 millibar systems, which is category 4 or 5.
Yeah, it's big.
And nobody else was predicting it. And I'm like, holy crap, I've never seen that. Every model showing the same thing. And people took it for value. And I had the mayor of Lynn Haven write me a really nice thing and said we had, she listened to me and it was, right. And it wasn't that awesome. I was right. I just showed them this is what looks like it's going to happen. And it did. Yeah. And people have since told me they're a little lax up there, maybe because of tourism, or maybe locals have been there too long. Like, we've seen this coming. But this was different. I mean, when these models, you got to live and die by the models.
Yeah.
And I've learned that, and they haven't got me wrong yet, and that's why I told you guys last time the Euro's not always right, But I had this storm we're watching now, and I kept seeing the Canadian model, and I tell people, hey, this is interesting. They keep showing it; it's consistent. Now it's at the point where this thing's got a tight little spin, and I'm like, it ain't gonna die right away. So we're gonna be tracking this one for a few days, and
I've heard obviously more people worried about this year, obviously with COVID going on and like the mess that is, and then like in Florida, everybody's like, we don't want
about the hurricane blowing my mask off.
Put a hurricane on top of this mess already is like
we already had shortages in supplies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like people are real.
Not for me. I hoard all that stuff.
No, you're the one.
I buy every time I go there. If they got toilet paper, I buy all of it.
So I just think now more than ever, mix that with everybody have nothing else to do but track these things and stay at home and look. It's like now more than ever.
You might get some record viewership though, because
people like
they love to escape. I've read that a million times. People love tropics because now they got something else to watch, and then the news. Yeah. So it's a weird obsession.
Do you feel too? And this is the last question, then we got to go. But that I found that like people will feel guilty that they get excited if a hurricane's coming, and like, 'cause my wife's this way, like especially where she feels like
her and I've talked about this because we both do it. Like
she doesn't want it, obviously. And then she's not she doesn't have any powers to bring it here.
She's also a sweet person. She doesn't like to see people get hurt or suffering.
No. But there's some sort of excitement of a storm like that. I think a lot of people get, where it's like they're not necessarily afraid of it. They're like almost like, whoa, it's going to come.
Oh, the majority of people, and I see it in my chats. Like people's gets like the wind knocked out of them when a track changes because they get excited about it, and the only people that really get on them are ones that have lived through a 4 or a 5. Yeah. So that's the thing. Like my dad's 83, and he stayed for Irma. It's only a 1, only a 2. Well, he's like, if ever it comes again, he's leaving. It scared the heck out of him. I think all these people that want one don't realize how awful it could be, without power for weeks or whatever else you go through. Well, you get a window blown out, you don't have an appointment for a year or something. So,
good luck getting your roof fixed.
Forget about it.
The army of roofers that come down from Georgia.
Tarp Army.
And your hurricane deductibles, $10,000 more than the roof. So, it's just there's that little excitement, and we all get it. I get it. I woke up every morning with the Weather Channel with Jim Cantori, and I'd wait for the cone. I'd be like, I couldn't wait. I'd be laying there. Where's the next cone update? And then if it got closer, you get excited. And if it went away, I was like, I don't know why. It's not like I didn't want to die.
For me,
It's just. I think it's natural.
If you have like an insecurity, or like for me, if you suffer from anxiety, and I do, there is a weird level of comfort that I gain from things that prove to me that they are larger and more powerful than I could ever be. Like, so a hurricane to me, even COVID
There's
in
no
a weird way.
stopping
Now,
it.
look, I'm not saying I like this stuff. I'm just saying there is a weird psychological comfort to me knowing, well, there's nothing I can do about that, so I'll just be part of it and kind of ride it out.
Yeah.
Well, and then one thing, too, is hurricanes, you have days and days, to prepare if you're in a if you're worried about it. Tornadoes, you got 10 seconds. So
at the end of the day, you could always flee.
you could always leave, and that's the thing. So it's not like it's it caters to both sides. The rebels and the
of course, if you're truly that afraid, just leave town. Like, no problem.
The biggest question I guess, where the heck to go? That's the biggest cool thing now. I track where I would go because you got to look at future inland stuff, and you want to get far enough away. That's the worst thing to end up where everybody else is going.
Never thought about that. That's a wise idea.
Or you're trying to flee from where it was projected to hit, and then it hits where you flee to.
That happens all the time. I've had friends that do that. They're not really paying attention to what somebody like Mike or anybody's saying.
They're like, I'm leaving Miami, and then all of a sudden Charlie comes through Central Florida.
I'll tell you a real quick story with the ABC story. ABC, we got to give them credit.
Yeah,
but we had a storm coming across Florida, and everybody asked me where to go. I said I would go to Naples because it's saying it's going to come across the state. You don't know how far north it's going to go. I had one person go to Naples, right? And then I got an email, $50 gift certificate from ABC. They're like, we listen to you. Nobody was staying down there. And all our friends went north, and now they're stuck. They can't come home.
No, that's awesome. Well, Mike, it was great having you in.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, man.
We'll talk to you again as the storm season continues.
SpaghettiModels.com.
Yeah, SpaghettiModels.com. Follow him on Facebook, Mike's weather page. He'll update you on all the storms.
Likes, buy some merch.
And big thanks to our sponsor, ABC Fine Wine and Spirits.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I love doing it, man.
Yeah, no problem. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time.